One.
Hello and welcome to Tales from the Dark Side, your Star Wars news and weekly comic recap presented by Rennavision. There's only one comic to review this week, The Mandalorian number 4. Can't wait to find out what happens there. Thankfully, there is other comic news, and we discuss Andor episode 5 and give you our tips on how not to fall asleep while watching it. We'll also give our opinions on the new Groton, Ireland collaboration, the High Republic young adult novel, Path of Deceit. Hey, we'll look into New York Comic-Con through the eyes of the hopeful. I think that's all we got, maybe. Let's get it going, fellas.
All right, Jedi, welcome back, sir. Do you have intros for us, Jedi?
I do. We're going to jump into that. Fine. So he is the most notorious smuggler since Han bought it in that Force Awakens movie. He bootlegs Star Wars knowledge, then drops it on viewers like he just saw an Imperial Star Destroyer. It's Macho Man Marco. And this guy's hobbies include Star Wars video games, disco music. And to be clear, that's both Star Wars video games and Star Wars disco music. He's been warned, though, aiming your disco finger in the wrong direction could lead to some kung fu fighting. It's the man behind the curtain, J.J. Maxwell. And after New York Comic-Con shuts down each evening, you might see him standing on the New York City streets, yelling Star Wars rumors and theories to passersby. Some say he's delusional, some say creative, but on Sundays, he's our very own dark side fact checker. The great Dom Tober is here. And this guy reads a lot of Star Wars books, then rereads again and again. We've told him to put them away and stop, but he says he has no shelf control. Wah, wah. It's a speed reader and bad spec defeater. It's Wayseeker Rune. And he and Lord Vader were neck and neck for the Emperor's affections until the Emperor caught this guy sitting on his throne watching the sequels and wearing his robe. Only his robe. It's the sequel-sympathizing Sith from South Texas, Darth Ram Rugensan, or just Ruben. And he's back. It's the Jedi who's just getting by. And that's no lightsaber in his pocket. He's just happy to see you. It's me, Jedi Johnson, 22. Let's go.
Welcome back, Jedi. Welcome back. That was a good one. I'll say hi to the chat real quickly. We do have bingo results. We're not playing this shit anymore. We're just not. We're not doing it. It's done. So for all those people that haven't shown up yet, you can let them know later. Tommy Longbox, have a good show, fellas. Catch you in the AM. Have a good day today. Hopefully work isn't that long. Ronan, the most important Star Wars book ever. Oh, can't wait to find out. It might be. I know there's a difference in opinion for people who've read it or listened to it, but I think it definitely has a lot of insight to what's going on. I mean, I know people are trying to leak comics early, but if you read the novel, maybe you're leaking the wrong comics. Darth Lopez. No, it is not. That would be Darth Plagueis. Have a great show. Oh, geez. He literally texted me to tell me that people are saying that book's important. Now, I get it. He just texted me whatever. Is that our show title? That the book's the most important book in Star Wars? Is that it? Is that what the title is on this?
Yeah, it's a question.
Oh, is it? It's a question. If it is, okay. Okay, now I get what's going on. Pete isn't here, by the way, today, so that's going to be fun. Eric, good to see you. Eric, how are you doing? Long time no chat. We should probably, well, I'd say that, but I got Motor City this week, and then I don't know if you guys all saw the IG, but I might be flying some places soon. Marco says, best book ever. Take to the bank. Marco says, not the best book, then sell it to Dom for the low price and tell him you heard a rumor. yeah, tell Dom you heard a rumor. He'll get it. Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you, and thank you for your sub. Darth, thank you for your sub too. Appreciate it. Same to you, thank you, Tommy, too. All right. Try to figure out that better. I'm still kind of tired from the con the other day. And was on SNS. Wookie Fanatic 19. I'm not buying. No way, Marco says an Ireland book is the most important ever. maybe we should start off with the book. I don't know. Like,
What?
by the way, I really liked it, but Marco will still criticize it on pure principle that Ireland is one of the. No, do know that the one thing, if I am nothing else, people may not like my opinion on stuff, but I'm pretty fair. They just don't like my opinion when it's the opposite of their opinion. I don't believe that it is real. So here you go, Ed. I don't believe that is the real Marco in the ad. No gold chain. I put it on. I will take new photos for you so that Pete has new photos put up of me in that. I'm here for Marco's sellout positive review. Jesus. Thank you, BK. There will be one. Hey, Darksider. Joe, Joe's got Zombie Vader. Wow. Just in time for Halloween. That's really cool. Nice. Joe, where'd you get that? Let us know, man. The chains are coming. The force is dim. He's saying the force is dim because the Mets are losing. Thank you for that. Did the guy in the ad?
Well, I know. I can say one thing, Jedi. 4-1, baby. Cowboys did it again.
Oh, geez. Oh, Pete.
All right.
Good to see you, Dub.
We're going to be enemies this week.
Hey, let's Dub.
My Guardians are coming up to beat your Yankees this week.
Well,
I don't think so, man.
If you guys want a sweet win, always just come out to Detroit. The Lions will lay down for you. Hey, Dub, Dub and me were at the con together, so we will. Oh, thanks, Joe. We'll cover that on TAC. Sticks, good to see you. This is the most important story, so it really is. Yeah, I know, right? I was at that con. We were out there at like 7 a.m. and then I just got back and I mean literally just washed my butt, said goodnight to the kids, and then jumped on SNS last night. If you missed it, it was a crazy show. Go check it out. Or don't. I mean, but yeah, go check it out. Dwayne Scott here for Marco's rant and the algorithm. Appreciate it. Okay, we'll get into comics first, but then we'll go through comics. I really do think, guys, should we change it around? Should we go through the novel? Should we just go through the novel?
JD, how much did you get done with the novel?
Thank you. I think Joy saw it.
Oh,
mute? I think you're on mute.
You're muted.
Chapter 11 or 12.
Okay.
Thanks.
You got a little bit.
I got, so. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're
well,
almost to the good stuff.
The basics.
I mean, because
pretty much all the unfun exposition out of the way.
I'll tell you what I'm really like. The path is this review. The High Republic stuff that happened at NYCC is really high on it. I know we got an Andor review, but the Andor thing is probably, probably the least that I'm excited about. Hey, why don't we just do Andor? Let's screw it. We're changing it up. Pete's not here today. Here we go. Andor it is. Let's do the Andor review. First off, we got this guy saying, hey, we're going to clean this up, but we're talking to this dude who just wants a promotion. And they're like, this building, we're going to take over and change it. That's exactly how the Empire shit works. I think they did a great job with this. Also kind of pointless. How'd you guys like this episode, by the way? Oh, she was going crazy, by the way.
I like
her
it a
and
lot.
Fake Tarkin. Did you?
Yeah.
Really? Her and Fake Tarkin were like doing the plan so that they're going to take over. I mean, she's going to find the one guy eating the blue crunchy crisps, right? Right? That's what
so what's
she's doing.
her deal? Is she
Gordon.
digging around until she discovers that they're building the Death Star? Is that what her deal is? I mean, that's kind of what I got.
No, I think she's gonna. I think she's just looking for a promotion. I think she's mad that they were making references.
She seems to be tracking all these different logistical movements and stuff, and I'm like, okay, what's?
I think she's gonna bite the dust.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think it is one of those things where she's like, look, they all think I'm just here because I'm like it's the promotion of the woman thing, and I think she's trying to prove herself, but she's overzealous, and she's going to end up, as Dom said, turning to dust. So, and so is little Fake Tarkin.
But the ironic part is she's actually right?
No, she's really right. Yeah, they're going to overlook her.
Right.
Yeah, she's 100% on it. She got it.
Yeah.
She got it. But like you have that type of stuff every once in a while where people got it and they don't. They actually, the real life elements they've added into a lot of these characters are pretty interesting. Like this shit right here, where this guy's like, yeah, fine, I'll take this in the base, but do I at least get a name promotion even if I'm not getting like a money increase? Like that's legitimately stuff that goes on day to day in businesses and stuff now.
Yeah.
Like people are trying to just get the name promotion, they don't care. And then you see the opposite where she has got the promotion already and she's like, listen, I'm just trying to prove my worth. And I mean, it's going to be the downfall of both those characters, I think, either way. So it was good to see those other ones. I'm just trying to go through some of the sub characters first because most of this plot this week was on the training in Andor. So then we went back here. He's smuggling phone calls in the back room, like he's hiding cigarettes from his aide or whatever. We see the bigger versions of what JJ does not believe, and I really don't either at this point.
And also those things on the right-hand side next to the Sith holocron is from Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Right in the corner.
Well, it can't technically be from Indiana Jones.
I know, but I'm just saying, but it is. It's an Easter egg.
Yeah.
Wouldn't those be like the biggest holocrons ever, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think
like-
the cartoons. I think the cartoon. You had the holocrons in, I guess, Rise of Skywalker. That was the.
You had
They're
them
not real holocrons. The Black Series
No.
holocrons.
Yeah.
So.
No.
Yeah, it's the that's the Funko Pop holocron right there. So
Yeah.
plus, I mean, it would be one thing if he had a Jedi holocron. Maybe he's not having a Sith holocron. He's not having. He's just not having holocrons. Okay, that's not real holocrons. That whole back wall is a bunch of gobbledygook that they could have probably just left out there. It's for people.
I mean, even if it is holocrons too, it's like that's a major form of communication, right? It's not like it's unusual to have them or anything.
Yeah, because if you had that, it can leave a beacon for the Sith to come. They can come right to him.
No, he's saying like holocrons in general.
Oh yeah,
right. Holocrons in general are, even though they're in those shapes, they could just be regular holocrons or empty holocrons.
Yeah.
I get it, but you know what this is? This is, as I said, the last couple of weeks after the first 3 episodes, the content creators that create like Easter egg contents were really complaining their views are down. And this last week they haven't complained, and I think they've probably pointed out this shot has given them apparently enough content so that they don't complain anymore. So Disney obviously is doing a good job. This is interesting how he's that nervous and worried to see how everything goes. How'd you guys feel about that?
I mean, I think it made sense to me. I feel like this is the first big action to set things off, and so you know.
I like the aspect that he's nervous about Andor being there, and he didn't do his due diligence against him. That he just basically sent him out to this crew, and that's why he's listening on the radio, saying, I'm listening for something, somebody, calling my help or something like that.
Do you think it's just Andor, or do you think that he's worried that he's going to lose that whole crew? Because it is a pretty big.
Well,
because wait, hold on. There's a lot of stuff. If that crew comes out, it's financing. Like he's in a tight money spot. I think it's overall. I think he's so nervous. There's like a billion things probably going through his head. What happens if they don't get out? What happens if, like you said, they need my help? What happens if Andor What happens if somebody else backstabs him? You know what I mean?
As I say, on the backstab thing, that's kind of what I like. I don't know. I kind of felt like he was afraid that there was like a rat, so to speak, or somebody, like out there, like in the group. But that's why he was so nervous.
To me, I think he's more afraid that Andor is going to backstab his crew. I don't think his crew isn't going to be backstabbed, but he's worried about them as individuals dying.
I think he was worried they're going to fail, and we'll see it later why. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Maybe it was because I was getting ready for the con, and it's really interesting when you're setting up for one, and you're like, dude, if I bring like these 3 boxes and I don't bring those 2 boxes, it could be $1,000 swing. You know what I mean? And like you think about this, and that's kind of how I felt while I was watching him, while I was setting up for us. Like, it's all those mind things that keep you up at night, and you're like, "Holy crap!" There's no you can't do anything about it, but it could happen. You know what I mean? So
I just kind of got the feeling that he's kind of at that point. He's kind of on the dark side of the moon, if you know what I mean. This is the point in the mission where communication with him is cut. It's either going to work or it's not.
Right.
And he's just kind of left out, and he's anxious about it.
Yeah, somebody must be programming missions there. Over on
I think also the process with him and on Mothra. I think that like this heist is one of the biggest things they're probably pulling off, and if they can get this, it could probably push him to the next point. And he's worried that if it doesn't work out, the alliance will never be formed. This is something that, and you're right, the money flow too, because that money, there's a lot of money there. That's actually, if they take that, it would definitely help the flow of cash to build the rebellion.
Yeah, so I think he's just projecting all the things that could go wrong. That's pretty cool. Reef, what's going on? Isn't Shadow of the Empire 1 Dark Horse the most important? Then we get the Mon stuff with the holy crap. I am telling you this much. If my kid, I wish. No, I don't. If my kids,
no, you don't.
And this dude, if my wife ever acted like this tea drinking puppet, like I'd burn the whole motherfucker down. It don't matter. The whole thing's getting burned. Everything's getting burned.
Do you
this
think
dude's
that
walking
I
out?
called this last week. I called it. I said they hate each other.
Yeah, butt
You
ass
said,
naked.
no. I'm like, no, these two.
So is there a reason why?
This
Do
guy
you think
did.
there's a reason why we need to see all this? You think this is going to come into play at some point?
Yeah, they're gonna
Family
backstab.
dramatic or family
They're gonna
issues?
Yeah, you're gonna turn on her.
they're gonna
They're gonna
die?
turn
Him and she's gonna lose her family, and that's what's gonna make her be even more into doing what she's doing.
No.
She's going to lose
No.
her family.
You don't
or
like
the
these
family's
motherfuckers.
gonna turn
Her
her
family
out?
seems like they hate her.
I think she's setting this guy up by the end of the show. I think she's going to make him take the fall for.
So you think that she's gonna backstab her daughter too?
I'd like the whole
I would
motherfucking
love to see
place
that.
on fire. The
I think
whole
that-
motherfucking place.
I think they're gonna try to backstab her first.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
Me
I
and
think they
JJ.
are.
If I had to choose, I'm probably in that camp too, JJ. I think
Yeah.
they're gonna.
I mean, that's the logical to me conclusion.
There's a
And
bunch.
she may
of
get the
states-
better of them in the end, but I think they're going to be the ones to backstab her.
Yeah. I think that
Dude.
actually the daughter is actually probably like a stepdaughter and she's just going along with dad. I don't think it's their actual daughter.
I know they got married at 16. They said so.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's her daughter.
It's
I
actual
missed.
daughter.
Is it like an
Well, it's not-
arranged marriage type thing? Is
It
that what
is
the,
arranged. Yeah, an arranged.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh.
it's kind of like
But it
it's
is
kind of
her
like
daughter.
dad definitely's been talking shit about mom behind mom's back.
it's very Game of Thrones. like
Yeah.
arranged marriage, and you know the daughter actually hates you. It's a real,
Yeah, burn this.
you
shit
know
down.
what? And
Burn this shit down. Burn it down. But yeah, I definitely think it's a setup.
But it also like complicates, like it helps you understand why Leia was like her daughter, like in later novels, like where she had so much respect for Leia. Leia's like the daughter she never had after having this one.
Yeah, look at these two schemes.
That's why I
These
think
two-
they probably die, and that's what happens.
but she seems like if they died, they wouldn't care.
Yeah,
I think she does care. You think she's gonna abandon her?
She
daughter
probably
because
does
her
care,
daughter-
but I mean, like if he
No.
died, I don't know that she would really care that much if
No,
he
I don't
died.
think-
Ah,
I
it's
think
still
probably
right
cares
here.
about
It's
daughter.
still right here saying there's two different sides here. There's one side that's absent and doesn't give a fuck, and there's two scheming motherfuckers. This still shows that right here. I'm just saying, like sometimes you can read into shit.
No, you could look. They look. They know about her charity, but don't know about her dealings with the rebellion. So, who knows? Like I said, he could be a scumbag and gets and tries to take her out because he's working for the Empire. He's a spy, and the daughter has no clue.
I
But
think Darth
they are
Lopez.
dying, both of them.
I think Darth Lopez needs to drop the name Darth. We all know you don't like anything about Star Wars, bro. You can't just keep coming in here and faking being a Star Wars fan. All right, speaking of people who are pathetic and have bad relationships, then we get what is this guy? What's his name again?
Cyril.
Cyril.
Sadie
Cyril
McCerial.
Listen,
Yeah.
he's eating Bootios,
Oh,
the
Jesus.
cereals, the New Day cereal.
With blue milk.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so sad. His mom just is talking shit to him constantly too.
his uncle's gonna come and help him.
Who's his uncle?
Who is? That's who I
I
was.
think it's
wondering.
Luthen. I think it's Luthen.
No,
I think because the last name is Karn and it's close to Katarn.
No, Jedi. I told you you can't say Kyle Katarn. Absolutely not.
I didn't. You just said it. I didn't say it.
No, you just said it. You just said it.
You just said it.
Wasn't there a Moff that was named Hero at one point? I feel like there was, and I feel like
I don't. I just think he's some other guy. I don't even think he's going to do it because I think by the time he's supposed to be set up for the job, the mom's going to give him a hard time about how she take it. She had to call in for the uncle.
Well, don't you think that-
for you? I called in with your uncle, and you're going to run off with this girl?
It's like she's
I think the one
saying,
that-
girl.
your Uncle Vito. Your Uncle
Yeah.
Vito's gonna help
You
you.
know, the only reason I actually think is Luthen is that because Andor never gets his name when they meet, and he keeps asking, "Who is he?" And they're like, "Don't talk about him." The only people that actually call him Luthen is the girl, and the people in the shop.
But I think ultimately, isn't he going to kind of connect with Marrow? Like, I mean,
Yeah, he's
At
going
some
to connect
point.
with Meryl. That's why I don't
so
think
like that wouldn't make any sense for Luthen to be unless he's going to double cross Luthen.
yeah, I don't know.
I think this is the Indiana Jones Easter egg. I think this is something we start focusing a little bit too much on, and it means absolutely nothing.
Did
for
you
the-
get a screenshot of his bedroom?
I did not.
Because it had like all the black figures. I was like, this is Dom's bedroom back there.
Much his uncle be like Krennic.
I did not. I just got mom telling him the uncle's chat.
You know who she reminds me of? Remember the Charmin commercials? I mean, the don't squeeze the Charmin.
That's it. God, I was trying to think of that lady.
The bounty.
Thank you, Dom.
The bounty.
No,
commercial, I mean.
nobody remembers those.
I do. I was trying to place this. I was like, this lady reminds me of somebody, and that's it, Dom. Thank you. Yep. The Charmin lady. Or the bounty.
The bounty lady. Yeah.
Bounty paper towels or something. Yeah.
I actually have an employee who's just like this, but she's just like this. She is. But we good deli together, so what the fuck?
She's like from the Mary Tyler Moore show when she was I think the mother or something. Or
she's always dude. I love this.
Bounty paper towel and Mary Tyler Moore reference.
I don't know. Either way, I felt the scene.
Anyone under the age of 40 is necessarily depressed in this show right now.
I know, right?
I thought the scene was well done. I liked it, and it was once again touching.
I tell you, I like this episode a lot, and I like the talk that Andor had with what's his face.
We're getting into all the Andor stuff in a minute, Dom. So Andor starts out pretty much. He's looking for his package, and this guy just has to have his shirt off so he could show off all his sweet tattoos.
I'd be a dick to all these guys in this group too if this was like the first interaction with a shirtless dude.
Yeah, if shirtless dude's going through my shit,
he got a barcode number. He has a barcode on his chest.
Yep.
So
he's got three. Yeah, he's got a bunch of tattoos. Most of them it was from pretty much like the Emperor days and stuff like that when they were putting him through the through the orphan houses and all the little clans that he had to go through. They noticed each other. They talked about a lot. He asked about the gun that he got off the person. He said it didn't name it. This is what I found funny. The credits were fucking right there, and he doesn't balk at any of the fucking credits. Like why wouldn't you?
Maybe they're no good there.
Not valid point. Then we get Mr. Optimism, who's going to be good job, JJ. Maybe I don't know. Anybody else have a point to make of that? Sorry, good job.
The Republic credits. I mean, maybe the Republic.
That's like $3.
Dude, these guys are living off of spoiled goat, 4-horn goat milk. I think $3 goes a long fucking way. They can buy some
don't care about the money. They're not looking for the money.
Oh, they definitely care about the money.
When you get
it's like barely enough to make a phone call in a galaxy far, far away.
You know, when you get like those the foreign money is like 100 rubios or something like that on the thing, 100,000, and you think you have money, it's like $2.
Lopez, just to address this because you're gonna spam the chat the whole time with this, so we can just drop it right here. I get that it's not your Star Wars, but I don't think you have a Star Wars. That's what I'm saying, because all you ever say is Plagueis, and it ain't ever coming. So if your whole Star Wars is based around some novel,
veering off topic
that you read 20 years ago, it's not gonna be. Yeah, I just don't want him to slam down the chat with it. Okay. Next up, we've got the optimism of hope serving the poor milk, the spoiled milk to Andor. This guy's dead, right?
He's not getting down. I'm telling you, he's the force sensitive one. He's not dying.
He's dead.
The other ones are dying.
Wait, if he's so force sensitive, then why did he make a old tech calling system out of a Polaroid camera? Because that's what that is.
It's not that he made it. It's just that it's part of they're using it as a piece of equipment.
I think he's the one that gets killed, and it lights the fire in Andor's ass.
It's always either the young kid or the old guy that's like 2 days away from retirement.
Yeah.
So
I think Lieutenant's gonna die to me. That's the one that's dying.
This guy's dead.
Lieutenant Gorn.
Oh, he's dead too. Oh, there's not one person dying. There's a lot of people.
I'm about to say, isn't it possible that everyone dies but Andor?
Well, Vel's not dying. Vel's too important.
We've
seen
almost everybody but Andor.
All right, I got $1. This guy's dead. That's the game we should have played. Who's going to die first? Okay.
That's a game we should play.
So he spills in the poor milk, the crap milk, and he acts like, oh yeah, fine, okay, I'll listen to all your BS. And then he's like, I'm done with this shit. I don't want this crappy milk or this or your things, which was a
suck ass.
Yeah,
that part pissed me off. These people live off this, and he just kind of threw it instead of giving it back to him. He's just like, I don't want this.
Spoiled anyways. Yeah, I guess. But they are selling. Well, he was also. They've treated him like shit the whole time he's been here, though, too, Ruben.
Yeah, like I said, I'd be a dick too if the first interaction was
except for this
shirtless wonder there.
Karras, I mean, he hasn't treated him that bad.
Yeah. No, he hasn't. But you can even see back here where this guy's like, "Yeah, fuck you, drink that shit ass milk," because he's like, "Oh yeah, drink that shit ass." They have
goats or something. Why are they drinking sour milk? They have goats right there.
The goats produce a sour milk, apparently. That's what it is. I don't know.
So it's not really sour. Just
it's not spoiled. It's just
it's not spoiled.
Crappy goat milk.
So they do the little walk thing here, and then he has to explain to people, like you guys are idiot. Like, I don't understand how the guy in top right, for all the bluster and everything he supposedly has, didn't know that they were. Go ahead, Jedi. You're our expert in this.
This is where we just needed a nice training montage with Frank Stallone singing and just get all this done. This whole thing. We just needed a training montage here. That's what
Hearts on fire.
Hearts on fire. Damn, Dom.
Damn, Dom.
Come on.
Dom is my bro, man. Dom knows.
Next up, then. So they get there. That's when he starts telling them all the stuff. Like, you shoot right-handed, you shoot left, you shoot blah, blah. Like, he started to pull off the leadership part. They also had him into a... Oh, oops. No, I didn't do that. I didn't even put that part in here. If I didn't put it in here, but he did go in at one portion, and he's pretty much like, oh, you guys... See, that's really why I thought Lutheran was, like, worried, is because when he went into that tent and told, like, the supposed two leaders, like, oh, shit, you guys don't even know how to drive a vehicle, more or less,
exactly.
How to do any of this shit. Yep. I don't think he's as worried about Andor. I think he's worried about Andor getting pissed off at these people and fucking leaving. And maybe that's why
Andor getting killed because of these guys.
He's like a coach that assembles like the basketball team and then realizes like 4 out of the 5 players can't play basketball. I mean,
dodgeball. Yeah. I mean, that's it. So all of a sudden he sees the I cut the scene out then. All right, put it in wrong order. What I was going to do was the TIE fighter coming through. Either way, they find that he's got the Kyber Kyber crystal, and he's like, see, look, he's rich, he's somebody else. And Andor pretty much tells him, like, yeah, screw you. I'm in it for the money, dude. I don't give a crap about you people. I'm trying to get paid. Give me my crap back. Once again, how is this guy not dead? Like, at one point, don't you just kill this guy off? Because you know he's the guy that's going to backstab everybody.
Probably next episode.
He is the guy that, if there's a traitor in the group, it's this guy. He is the traitor.
I don't know. I think they're deceiving us like that. I think it's somebody else. I think it's somebody we suspect.
He's either that or he's the guy that comes around and becomes like,
Yeah.
Well, because
Andor saves his life, so now he's like bestest buds, and
I think that might happen.
like Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Backstory, right? I mean, he kind of gave his backstory as to why he's in it, unless that's just a made-up backstory.
Well, I know. I think when he said that's the best thank you you're gonna get from me. When he I think apology. So I don't know. I think there is somebody, and we least suspect it, and that's the person that's going to be the one that is the rat.
What did you think of the TIE fighter thing?
That's next. Yeah. I thought it was cool. I thought
it was awesome.
I thought graphically it was cool.
I thought it was cool too, but how about those goats that just stood there? Didn't even get scared. It went over them and just stood there.
Maybe they were scared. That's why that's pretty sad.
Yeah, maybe they like just passed out and they didn't move. If you're focusing on goats instead of how cool the CG was,
the fact that the CGI is not really there, therefore the goats would not really be scared.
Yeah, I don't care because the TIE fighter coming by.
I'm trying to get the ghost to act. Okay, goats. Now you should be seeing a tennis ball above you right now. That is actually a TIE fighter. And
did anybody else like? Oh, that's so sweet when they did that, and then at the same time, go like, that guy's such a fucking ass too, though. Like, right? It evoked two different types of feelings.
Oh yeah.
Because there was like no reason.
The alien aspect is not. Where are the aliens?
It's called.
These guys are all aliens because none of them.
It was really long. It's expensive to put aliens in all the time.
Yeah.
No, time out. Actually, technically, these are all aliens because none of these people are from this planet.
I know, but I want to see some aliens.
You mean non-human aliens?
Non-human aliens.
Just to let you know, those aren't goats.
Yeah, they're aliens too. They have 4 horns, so they gave you that. Those goats you were looking at.
Actually, they have 6, right?
Whatever.
Yeah,
they got 4. So
no, they had 6.
Yeah, I think it's
they had 6.
We're gonna argue over horns on the goat. Sweet. All right, so here we go. TIE fighter goes back, and then we get the part here. I thought the dialogue. I'm not sure I liked his dialogue so much last time. It was like, wow, this character's might not be good. But all the dialogues and interactions he had through this whole scene, where they were talking about how the Empire was going to plow the whole valley, and then he gave that sweet pause and said, "Yes, I can imagine," or whatever it was. What was that line? Was it "Yes, I can imagine"?
Yeah, I can, or whatever.
I can. Yeah. Wow, that was good. That was at that point. I mean, this is what this show is doing right. Instead of doing, in my opinion, stupid like quote unquote fanfare, they're actually doing good writing good acting and like leaving us with the little bit of, oh shit, this is good. I don't know. JJ, you usually disagree with me at this point. What's up, Chef Harris?
No, I think the dialogue was fine.
Nice. So that was cool. This part I was a little confused by. I was like, why does he care so much about this? Why does he care so much about this?
I think he cares about it because the woman that he loved,
The wife? Yeah, the
woman. Yeah, I think it has some symbolism to him, and he sees it. And also, I think he respects the Jedi. I don't think he works for the Empire, but I think he respects the religion of what the Jedi is, the Jediism is, and what that area is about. And like I said, also maybe his wife is force sensitive. You don't know. We don't know.
I mean, they're all old enough to at this point have been in the Republic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could be some point, Jedi saved, his mom or something. Who knows? But
so that's why I think it was.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think maybe some. Okay. Yeah. I just thought it was. I just think it was weird because if you're,
it was weird there to not have the backstory part of it. That, like, you don't know why. But
maybe that too, and maybe Jedi can tell. But
I think it was just kind of there though to show like that people in the Empire, some people in the Empire have reverence kind of for it, the Jedi and stuff, more than like, they're not all like, oh, those damn Jedi. Brr.
But no, I just think like that his underlings would be kind of questioning his leadership then, because like the Empire as a whole, like they're talking about plowing this whole valley just 2 minutes before, and then he's yelling at guys, I can't believe you'd be having target practice by these rocks. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I felt that was maybe a little bit out of place, but who knows? Either way. Then he goes into the basement. And at first I was like, holy shit, he's going to See, this is why I thought it was good acting and stuff. I was like, holy shit, he's going to backstab the group. He's setting them up at this point, right? Mm-hmm. And then he did, because then you're just like, oh shit, he made up the lie about his wife or the girl he fell in love with. That's an easy lie. But no, he went through and he actually set up the Empire here, which was a really good turnabout. So that's all I really have as far as slides on Andor. I don't know what else you guys wanted to add on it. I thought it was a good episode. I wouldn't say it was great. I actually now am disappointed that they didn't release these in 3-part arcs together, because it was so nice how the first drop played. I think this is an Empire thing where it's like good, but like it's not. It's a middle part of a story, right? Like it's the second part, and I'm just like, oh man.
See, streaming has spoiled you.
No,
I agree. You want everything all at once so you can watch it.
I don't want, I don't want it all at once. I just think because of how I
want it all.
I just think because of how they shot it in three episode arcs, and how they dropped the first one in that arc. It just bugs me for what am I saying here?
I get your point. It's why they didn't do a 2-episode drop, right?
Yeah.
In the first arc is because you would have ended on an episode like this where you kind of just left in the middle. But
I think they could have got creative. I know why they didn't want to do it, but they could have done a month in between if they were worried about like subscribers. The amount of people that subscribe.
Oh God, no, that would be disastrous. I would think like a month in between each arc.
Have like 4 movies, 1 month apart, in all 3 episodes.
Oh, if they called it mini movies or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a mini series maybe. But see, the problem is people don't come back to it. Like unless you're doing it like week after week in streaming, like they won't come back to it. They just won't.
I would love to see them try at least, because that would have been really interesting if they call it 4 mini movies.
Yeah, like the old call back to the old TV mini movies. Yeah. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Either way, everybody else, what'd you guys, and Jedi, what'd you think? Whole episode, give it to us.
The whole episode, I mean, it's all right. I like this particular scene that you have up in front of us now. I thought this was like my favorite scene out of it, because he's being very smart here. He's continuing to portray this. I mean, he is a military officer, but he's coming across like a hard ass. Hey, I'm going to cancel this event, or your opportunities to go watch this celestial event or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Inside, he knows all along that he's going to cave and let the men, go watch this so that there'll be less people on duty or whatever. But I just thought it was clever the way he continued this persona of being a hard ass officer, even though all along he knew what he was going to do, which was, I like this scene actually.
Are you happy with how the series is going so far? We've been able to ask you that on this show.
So I mean, this is kind of my first opportunity to talk about the whole series as a whole, but I'm kind of in this. I guess somebody asked me in the chat during on our Friday show what I thought about this, even though we weren't covering this in the show. But
sure, you turn on MCM.
I'm kind of in this for the long haul. I mean, I can't really say I've thoroughly loved any episode yet. I really can't.
Huh.
But I'm just kind of in this for the long haul. I'm optimistic and encouraged that in the end this is going to be a great series. But it's just kind of this series is kind of a marathon. There have not really been any sprints in this series yet. Maybe episode 3 a little bit or somewhat. So I'm kind of watching this like I would watch a marathon, I guess. It's good. I like it, but it's not your typical Star Wars. So, I mean, I tried to explain one time to Dom what I loved, what I liked, and what I didn't like about it. And I didn't really, I don't know if I can make any sense about it now. I like that I don't know what to expect, but I also dislike that I don't know what to expect.
I think that makes sense. I think from when we see people with it's very interesting because I think when you see people with certain type of buying habits, that they have similar opinions as you on it. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Wayseeker. Go ahead. What do you got?
Yeah, I'd probably give it a solid 8. Like, I feel like the dialogue was amazing. Acting was good. Music was good. I think the reason I give it a high grade is because I have faith in the show. Like, if I didn't have faith in the show, this would probably be much lower because it was a bridge episode. But because I have faith in how things are going, I can say like it was solid.
Cool. Ruben?
I have to agree with Wayseeker. The one thing I do enjoy is listening to both sides their tactical plans. It's like we're sitting here going, okay, they want to do this, this, and this, and this side wants to do this, and we also have a third side that is a spy, and he's doing this. When this all comes together, I think it's going to blow up, and I think that's what a lot of the fans that are saying that it's boring. I think that's what they're waiting for.
The action part.
I actually like the dialogue. I actually like the scheming. I actually like everything that's
the
just
story
a different side of this universe that we all just love. So I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
Don, what do you got?
Hey, I'm enjoying it. I love it. This is something that I actually been waiting for.
What was the best part of this series? This actual episode for you?
This episode?
Yeah.
The best part was just the tension among all the guys with Andor. Andor is skeptic. They're skeptic. And then when Andor finds out they have no idea how to operate a ship, that's when he just starts like, are you kidding me? And that's when in his mind, things started like clicking more, saying, you know what? I'm not getting killed and I'm not losing money because these people have no idea what the hell to do.
Yeah, fair.
And so I actually like that, and that he knows like his mind, like he knows what side the weapons are on and how to march and all these things. I really like that aspect. And I know, look, we all want the action scenes and stuff like that, and it's coming. It's gonna come, and it's gonna come soon enough. And we're all gonna be happy. But I like the dialogue. I like the world building. I like what we're seeing and how it's building to something even bigger.
JJ, what do you got?
I mean, pretty much everybody else has already said it, but it's, to me, this was actually one of the, besides maybe 3, this was my favorite episode so far. I know it's setting things up, but I don't mind the slow burn, so to speak, and all that. I don't know
what that means. Can somebody explain that to me?
Slow, it means it's developing slowly.
Yeah, but it's not.
What you said. It's a kind of a meandering middle episode, but to me, they still kept my. If you can keep, as a viewer, if you can keep my interest high in an episode like this, where it's setting things up and there's not a lot of action.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But it's still moving. Like, to me, that's what good writing is for a TV series. It's not like lots of people can do action and flashy stuff like that. to me, this is the good writing with great dialogue and moving the plot along at a good pace, not interrupting it with stuff. Like, to me, that's good writing, and that's the show I like to watch. So
I was thinking before Marco gives his final thoughts. I was thinking that about how people would view this show, what they would think about this show if you took the Star Wars out of it. Right? This is just if this is not a Star Wars show, this is just some show that came
That's
on.
a military show. Yeah.
Would we give it? Would we be giving it the latitude or the it's good, it's going to get or would we still even be interested if this wasn't a Star Wars show? I guess I don't know. I was just thinking that as I was trying to.
I probably would.
I would actually. I would. Yeah. I think I would.
Like I said, this is my type of show.
Yeah. So
I don't want things like this.
And this is why I was saying about the slow burn part, because it's something you said, JJ. When I think slow burn, I'm like, okay, they gave you a little bit like here, and then they're just stretching it out. They are packing a lot.
Yeah, I mean, so I think when people take slow burn now, I think it's more in like the terms of like modern streaming. It's like slow burn. Like, I mean, it's 12 episodes, and there's not a lot of action. I think that's what they're saying when they say slow burn, which is a different thing than like saying slow burn like 10 years ago when there wasn't streaming everywhere. But
I think so. Like, I don't think you have to have like fight scenes to have action. There's a lot of action in here. A lot of like, they quickly developed a lot of characters, gave you backgrounds on them very quickly, changed scenes. I mean, think about how many people we clicked through here. We clicked through all this stuff here. That's one group, right? We clicked through these that they had two different groups, and we explained everything into this. It's only a 45-minute episode, right? They explained all the back thing. They even kind of gave the tattoos. We got this. That's what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, they've given us now almost all the backstories and feelings for a dozen characters in a 45-minute show. That doesn't seem slow to me. That seems like, if anything, what? Am I wrong?
So no, Sarah Chang has probably the best answer to Jedi's question. Without the Star Wars, it's just Battlestar Galactica, which it basically is. At least the remake of Battlestar Galactica. Like, really
but
is.
I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, I think they are doing a great job overall. And even though this is a bridge episode, which you have to have bridges, but it was
the pacing
across a bridge. The pacing,
the pacing, like you said, is great. I think it's been fantastic.
Yeah. So like when people say slow burn, I do not understand. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's because they're used to like drop times. Is that what you're saying with stream, where it's like
yeah. And I mean, like they're used to like other platforms like Netflix. You get a whole season at once. Like, I mean, there's no slow burn on Netflix because you can literally watch the whole damn thing.
But they even are dropping these into 3-part arcs so that within 3 weeks you get the whole like mini story. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the pace of this show is really fast.
And the other reason I think it's called a slow burn is because most shows nowadays, they end with a cliffhanger every episode.
Oh yeah. And
what's coming on? Like, what's going to happen? That doesn't do that, right? It is it just expecting the reader or the watcher to come back and not have to like entice them in with something that's going to happen next week.
Well, and I think it's because like they've kind of laid it out. The 3-part arcs is like each episode of the arc is like an act almost. Normally, you're used to watching an hour television episode where there's literally almost 3 acts in that hour.
Yeah.
At least the way like modern TV is done. But I mean, if you ever watch something like, Mad Men or something like that, like Way Secret, like literally it just ended, and then you picked up on the night, like there was no like cliffhanger or anything like Way Secret. Yeah. The
way this is being built up, the climactic ending, is that they're doing it right. They're doing all the right moves and building the characters' arcs to a point where we're feeling for these characters off the bat. When Andor first started, I felt for the characters, and it was like, damn. And a lot of stuff doesn't do that lately. The shows that we see, you don't feel for the character; they just put out the stuff. And with this show, I feel there's a lot of things going on that making the fans enjoy it. Because even though the action isn't there as much, but there is action, this turmoil. No, there is in the show. There is little.
Well, the whole next episode is going to be just like the last arc ended on an action-packed show. Like,
of course, because it's the heist. But at the end,
right?
This should pay off, because think about it. Next season, when next season does come, it's going to be closer to Rogue One, so there'll be a lot more going on, and we'll find out why Andor was the way he was in Rogue
House
One.
of Dragons has got to be the slowest burn ever. But here's the thing with it. I think like when you look at it, if you set the mindset of mini arc stories, right? You get the intro, you get the backstory, and then you get the action. They're giving that to us in 3-part chunks. So like to see any, and maybe I'm a little bit too sensitive because to see any criticism, don't you feel like this is what we've been asking for out of Star Wars? Ruben,
Yes.
is this not what we've been asking for out of Star Wars?
Absolutely. It is the weirdest. This show is the weirdest thing because I scour Facebook and I scour Instagram about people bitching and complaining about everything, and the only thing that I've seen them argue about is that it doesn't have enough action. You don't hear people talking about plots or it doesn't make sense or anything like that. It's literally giving it to you, everything. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to read another book, read another comic. Here it is all. And then people are complaining that there's not enough action. And to be honest, when I think of a slow burn, what I've heard people imply is there's not enough action. There's not enough.
That's what they're saying.
explosions and things
Action,
like that.
which
I'm just like, Star Wars isn't always about action. Just give me a great story. Give me something outside. That's all you need to do, and that's exactly what they're doing. And if it's not enough action, I'm sorry, but it's coming.
But are you wondering maybe because a lot of us read the novels and read the comic books that this is sitting with us a little bit better too? Because
Absolutely.
we're used to story building.
Absolutely. I think when you hear a lot of people complain about, oh, it didn't make sense, or they didn't tell me that in the movie, it's because they're basically the fans of the movie or the TV. They don't sit there and put in the time and the effort for the books or even the comics. So I think this is hitting a lot more of us comic book fans also than it is people
I don't know about that.
But no, go ahead, JJ. Go. Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that actually this show might stick more with outside fans, even though you don't know the characters and stuff, but you also don't need any other kind of lore really to know the show. And people that aren't interested in watching lightsabers and space wizards would maybe be a little more attached to this show than like an Obi-Wan or something like that.
Does anybody because this show reminds me like a ton of Rogue One, and I know it's an intro to Rogue One, but if you remember how Rogue One started off, it wasn't like there was bazillion parts of action. Remember, they were talking about this, talking about that, going to different planets, talking about building the star, blah 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 blah, until the planet part at the end. But not everybody, a lot of people rave about Rogue One. They say it's one of the best Star Wars movies. I remember in the past years after it came out, people were raving about how great it was. They didn't have lightsabers and Luke Skywalker, but heck, they had the Vader thing at the end, but they, like how great it was and how awesome it was. And then I think it throws me a little aback that people will also criticize this for being the exact same thing. Like great storyline, great writing. You didn't have to know a ton about it. They introduced new characters, and none of them, except for at the end, named Skywalker. So,
I mean, that's true to a degree, but at the same time, you're comparing like a 2-hour movie versus like a 12 episode of season 2 season.
Right, and I know
story
I'm also doing it stylistically, like comparing the styles.
But I mean, every movie has exposition at the start. That's just what you described was exposition.
Right, but I
think people they go into a movie expecting to learn stuff like that at the beginning.
I might be talking about tone and theme a little bit more than like just the exposition part. Jedi, do you see that all? Because I think you're the only. I mean, I know you said you liked it, but did you like Rogue One?
Who? You say Jedi? Me?
Yeah, Jedi.
You say Jedi?
Yeah, Jedi.
Yeah, I like.
You sound like JJ.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said.
Do you see like a feeling between these two that's similar, or do you not, like theme wise and tone wise, or?
Yeah. The only thing with with Rogue One, you knew what the mission was. I mean, you knew what they're, you know what I mean? You knew where the story was heading. They were stealing the plans to the Death Star. So you you knew that. So you kind of knew where the story was going. This one, like I said, I like this one. It's not, I'm going to look back and I think, okay, it's going to be a good one. I'm just, like I was trying to describe, and maybe I still.
No, I understand. I
don't really know. It's hard to get excited about something when I don't know where it's going. I mean, is this kind of? I mean, I know we say, well, this isn't a Skywalker saga. Well, I don't know that. It might actually. I mean, if you consider the Death Star as part of, if you consider the the Death Star as part of that Skywalker saga, we're going there, I would think, or are we not going there? I don't know. So it's exciting, but it's also a little frustrating. I don't know.
Do you think that has anything to do with the play of like the rumor mills that have been developed over the last couple of years, and everybody setting either real or false expectations on what shows have past been, and this one hasn't. Like we've talked about before, this hasn't actually. There wasn't like a lot of this show is bad because of this, or the woke people ruined this, or the so and so ruined this, or the political acts of this. It hasn't had any of it. It hasn't. Kathleen Kennedy set this one on fire. Like there's none of that. The only complaint it has is slow burn. Do you think because we've had all that stuff, like, I mean, the best thing they have is they can talk about an Indiana Jones artifact in the background and 2 oversized holocrons, right?
So I also think that whether we like it or not, there is this faction of Star Wars fandom that wants to continue, that wants to see these Skywalker saga, either Easter eggs or whatever. They want to see that, and they're probably going to complain when they don't necessarily see that, or they don't know that this is where it's heading. And you're probably going to see these comments, and maybe that's what we're seeing that we don't understand because we are, like you say, more in tune to the bigger picture, kind of. But maybe that's that's what we're seeing and being frustrated by and not understanding. But I mean, we're going to continue to see that because there is this segment of the Star Wars fandom that wants that, and that's all they want.
Yeah, very well said. All right. Anybody else have anything to add before we go to the worst game we've ever played before? No.
Can I just do a small prediction for next week's?
Feel free.
Okay, so the young guy, Karras, he dies. Andor is going to get light of fire, like I said before. But I honestly believe that Luthen and Uncle Harlow are the same person. I honestly believe that. I don't know if that's going to come on next episode, but I honestly believe that.
Okay, fair. All right.
Because I think it would be great if he hired his nephew.
Wait a minute,
to replace the Karras actor as part of the group, and him and Andor have a conflicting sides.
I don't think so. You know why? Why would Luthen tell Andor to kill him in the episode when they escaped?
To kill him.
Yeah, when
he got the gun to his head.
Yeah, hit the gun to his head.
But Al, Ruben's going to say because from Luther's point of view, he didn't know that was him.
Right. Because if
I didn't know his uncle or his nephew.
You didn't know his uncle. Right. This is what Ruben does. I get it. I get where he's going here.
It's an interesting theory. It'd be interesting. I don't know.
If where Luther was from the point of view, I know. Yeah. Am I wrong, Ruben? This is what you're gonna say. From the point of view, because if you know where the point of view is, where he's holding the thing, I get it. Go ahead. Sorry, Ruben. Didn't need to say anything.
It's just on the drop of a hat, he told Andor pick a name, and Andor picked Clem. And it was nothing, but Andor never says Luthen. He never gives them a name. He's always asked. He asked twice. He's like, "Who is this guy?" And they never even gave him a name. No one ever gave Andor what this guy's name, and I think they're doing that on purpose. That's just when I saw that, I was just like, "Oh."
I got one prediction.
All right.
Mom Offa's family's gonna get killed. There you go.
Next episode.
There you go.
Well, my prediction is who the traitor is going to be, and it's going to be the guy. If you've ever, if you've seen A-Team or what's the other show, The Good Guy, or whatever that other show was, there's always the one traitor that's embedded with the group. It's going to be that guy who's been the leader of the training, that's been kind of back and forth with Andor when he tries to interject his opinions. You have that one guy who's always kind of like, well, you know the guy I'm talking about.
That's going to be tattoos or the black guy?
The black guy, yeah.
Oh, see what's going to happen? He's going to kill.
He's going to be the traitor.
He's going to turn and kill Lieutenant Gorn and go for the Empire.
If there is a traitor,
I think it's Tattoo Guy. I think
No,
Tattoo Guy has been brainwashed. No, I think Tattoo.
I don't know.
I think
he's too obvious. It's too obvious.
No,
it's not going to be him. It's too obvious.
Rolling in the deep. All right.
I will say that I did look it up. There is a Harlow during the Imperial age that was a Moff. We don't know anything about, but was in the Star Wars encyclopedia.
How did you spell Harlow?
What?
How did you spell Harlow?
Harlow.
See, and then if you watch the comments, if you watch it, the
captions, I know
it's Harlo.
But you can't always trust the captions. I'm I know it. I looked that up too. There wasn't one, but there is a Harlow that is a moth. So
Can I play the worst game ever? Can I play the worst game
Hey,
ever?
Ruben,
Yeah,
this is
let's
not
play
the
that
sequel trilogy.
We're doing
I heard
into
that one.
I
the
love
worst
the
game ever.
sequel. There's a sequel trilogy right
sequel
there.
trilogy,
There you
straight
go.
trash. Straight trash. Andor, worst game ever, bingo. It is over at this week. The guys were like, can we have 3 lines win it? No, I'm done doing this. This takes 2 hours to put together, and it's not good. Sorry I failed you. Sorry we failed you. It was great in theory, but this shit is horrible. All right.
Okay, you know what, Marco? Let's do the who dies first. There you go. That'd be great.
Well, we would have to have that ready already. All right, Dom, here you go. If I missed a name, this was your card, not a bad card. If I missed a name here, I really don't care.
And just to clarify, these cards, there's 35 names on these that we split up. So not every card is the same.
Yeah, not every card.
So we're trying to make it a little bit different this time, but it still failed.
It still failed. Yeah. I can't just keep practicing on ways to fail. Wayseeker, here you go. Not a bad card. Fail. Yeah. Pat, honestly, the biggest fail is if they even previewed Organa, that we would have had like 6 people win. But it wasn't a win. Sticks is in the chat. Close. Saw showed up. We would have had it. You would have had it with Saw. You would have had it with Danger. That was another one that popped up a lot too. Danger if he showed up. All right, JJ. All over the place. A Tarkin. He got a fake Tarkin. Or Vader. He had the double win there. Could you imagine if they had a Tarkin and Vader thing? He would have got it. Oh. Pete, I didn't even fill Pete's out because he's not on the show, so I started to fill it out and then I just gave up halfway through.
He lost.
Pete's card was really bad.
His card was horrible. He had another horrible card. I kind of filled mine out. I don't know if it's right or not. I gave up on myself too. I was just like, I didn't care. I was trying to get to everybody else. Lopez, thanks for leaving the chat. Close. He needed a Palps Tark. Because Brasso, actually, I screwed that one up. He actually got that. So he was a Tark away. Sith Rule. Valway.
Ooh, bingo.
Val was there? Was Val there?
No,
I'm
it's
saying
diagonal.
Diagonal bingo.
Diagonal.
Where?
Bingo.
Oh,
Diagonal,
shit.
right across the middle.
All right, so we have more than one winner. He's got a diagonal win here. Bingo for him. We have more than one winner.
And Vel was in here too. So yes.
Was Val? No, I didn't think they were. I looked it up. They didn't say Val was.
Okay.
So I didn't put it out. Jedi Johnson.
Damn it.
Close.
Damn it, Hera.
Hera. And adult sister. So you might have actually won. We just don't know yet. Ronnie's in the chat. Ronnie has the second worst card next to Pete's.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's a bad one. Joe's card was okay. Bal Organa again. That's a winner if he got that.
Vel was in the show. Yes. Vel was the leader.
What's that?
She's the woman. She was in this.
Oh, is it? So this is another win. Once again, this game sucks and I hate it. Tommy.
We should have put pictures.
Yeah, we should have pictures. Like I look up so many of these because I used your way of just taking your list and inverting it. It spelled 2 names, like auto-corrected 2 names in here too and spelled them wrong. What was the one? It didn't put an S on it took an S off the back end of somebody's name. It took a second letter off the middle. So that was a Saw Gerrera away from the win in adult cast. Might be a winner here too because we didn't know a sister. So who was it that won so far?
Sith Rule.
Sith Rule won.
Twice
Sith Rule
or
or
one?
double bingo.
Double bingo. So he won one. Well, we'll see because I still screwed this up. Joe,
So
Tommy.
many cards.
Yeah, there's so many cards. Yeah, so many cards. That was the biggest problem. We put too many people on this. Tommy was a saw away. Marv, what did you have? Marv was a sister.
K2SO.
He's all over. That's not a good card. K2SO, Palps. Palps another big one. T-Fat, Tiger Fat. Jesus Christ. He was a K2SO away. What did he say? I didn't see what that said. Put it up there. What BK set up? Put it back. If you wouldn't go back to the toy store and buy the original Vader. All right. There's no prizes for this either.
But yeah.
All right, put it down. Who is this? Ruben. Ruben, what did you get? What did I miss on yours, Ruben?
We have so many cards. Apparently, the people who have cards didn't even know they had them.
Yeah,
Dallas.
if you remember, you got a card. You just got a card if you remember. Pete apparently was supposed to reach out to people. That didn't work well, so I should have just cut all the people he didn't reach out to back. Yeah, close.
Dallas. Yeah, close.
And Prince went
Prince.
across.
Friends.
He also hit one too. But he didn't win a double. And I screwed the game up anyways. That's the end of that game. We will no longer be doing it. If you recommend another, it's an automatic mute in the chat for a week if you guys talk about ever play a game on the show again. And if you're on here, it's a ban for a week. We're not doing
That's terrible.
games.
Because I had a great idea.
That's
Can
not
we do
a
it?
great idea.
I want to hear Jedi's idea.
No.
I have
go
an
ahead.
I have an idea too.
No, gone for a week. No idea.
Jedi and,
No.
and Ruben
Okay,
can give
no,
their
I
idea.
have an
and we
You
can
guys
keep you
can
on
keep
the show
that
next
out.
time.
We're not doing the ideas. Okay.
I have one really simple idea. One.
It's like playing too much fantasy football. Like eventually, it just
Yeah.
makes football like not fun.
Yeah, that
Watching football.
Simple
and
idea.
Part of it too is like everybody's like, oh, like Jedi hated doing the fantasy one, because when you're putting it together, it's just like there's so much stuff to put together. And
All the deaths he had to count, all that stuff. I had to watch it over and over again.
I didn't even watch the death. Oh, with the death thing, yeah, it just becomes like this big nagging thing.
Yeah. I just guessed.
I know
Yeah,
that's
no,
why
I
we
think
lost.
Marco got mad at you.
That's why. That's why him and I lost.
Did you see what I
Marco
did?
got
I said
mad.
that just.
You're like, no,
I said that just to get a
Jedi.
rise out of Ruben. I know that's still a sore spot for him.
Yeah,
It is.
did you see what I just did on Bingo? I kind of just guessed if the people showed up at the show or not. All right.
Should we get Dom's thoughts on NYCC?
Yeah, we can do
People have
that.
been asking for it.
Fine. We can get Dom thought because good. I'll be right back. I got to do something. I'll be right back. I'll be back into the
All
chat.
right. Well,
Go ahead,
Marco's
but-
gone. I'm going to give my idea.
What's your idea, Jedi? Just
We're
go
good,
ahead.
good.
Well, since I'm probably not going to be here next week anyway,
Go ahead.
my idea is Andor Hangman.
Band. Okay, Jedi, Ruben, what do you got?
You want my idea now?
Yeah, I'm gonna ban you too. You be careful. Ban hammer's coming down.
Okay. Everybody that's listening in the chat puts down 3 people that they
No,
think are going
no,
Listen to
that's
me.
way too much.
that they think they're going to die in the chat. Okay. No, not in our chat. I'm sorry, in the comments section, the non-live. And then if anybody wins, they go on to the next week, and everybody that loses can't play.
He's dropped out.
Marco just banned himself. He's like, I'm done.
I'm
So
done.
he really
I
doesn't
don't
like
wanna
that
do it.
idea.
Why is my face so? I'm not showing anything.
Because you're the one that's talking.
You're the featured star of this section, Dom.
Well,
Give us your
I'll tell you
thoughts.
what,
Also, Marco's the only one that can control it, so you're screwed.
I'll tell you one thing, which was really funny about the whole experience. YouTube and Instagram, people know who the hell you are, man, which is really kind of cool. That's the one thing I can honestly say.
Did you wear any of our?
You meant
Did you wear,
chef, right?
did you wear any of our props with you? Any of our gimmicks? Any of our shirts?
I had I actually gave out a lot of cards. I didn't wear the shirts. I did a lot of Boba Fett stuff, but I actually gave a lot of cards and I talked to a lot of people, which I'm going to get to in the as I'm talking about it, because it's kind of interesting. A lot of some good feedback and stuff like that. So
No, Dom was wearing like suits and he was all,
I had
And make sure
I was
if you're
getting-
not following him at Old Man Fat, do it.
what happened? Yeah, I was definitely impressed with a lot of the people that that look at Instagram and knew me off the bat. And that was the best thing. I'm sitting there like shocked. And I'm gonna tell you something which was really funny. And if nobody was there, they wouldn't believe when I'll tell somebody. It was funny. I was shocked, and I was like, I had a lot of gratitude towards the fact. But anyway, let's get it started. I have to thank my brother first of all, Geekstronomy, because he got me in, and
Go ahead. Sorry, Dom. Go ahead.
so he got me in, and it was crazy because when he got there before me. Now, my brother's handicapped. He handicapped for a long time. So when he comes to the cons or a convention or whatever it is, the Jacob Javits Center has handicap parking.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't have any handicap parking now. They've rented it out for all food trucks.
Oh,
That
that's
was that.
Oh
bullshit.
my god.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah. So he got there and he asked security, listen, I have some stuff. I'm in a wheelchair and I can't really maneuver a lot. This that he goes, the security guy goes, what do you want me to do? Go find a parking space somewhere a few blocks up or a garage. Now my brother didn't want to pay money to put his car in a garage. And he came here because it wasn't even in the guidelines. They had all the guidelines.
That's bullshit.
Which that's the funny thing. The guidelines usually you would have. All right, there's no parking for handicap.
No, that's not.
Wear a
You
mask.
have to have pants.
I know, but they had.
It's illegal. Like you have to have handicap
Straight up,
parking.
it's
I
illegal.
know, and wait. So the guidelines had you can wear a mask, but it's optional if you want to. If you didn't want to, but there was nothing in the manual saying that there was no.
You
handicap
can't.
parking.
It's not an option if you're handicapped or not. You either are or you aren't. Like
Exactly.
that's
So-
not an optional thing.
So it gets even crazier because my brother did park about 5 blocks away. He spoke to a meter, a maid, whatever you call them now.
Meter maid.
Correct.
Yeah, meter maids. Whatever.
And she was like, since you have out of state plates, they can definitely give you a ticket, even though you're handicapped. He's like, wait, but I'm handicapped. The fact is that
What the fuck?
I don't turn it on and off. Like I come from Ohio and I come to New York City and I can magically walk and do things again. He goes, I'm handicapped no matter where I go. So he had the car parked about 5 blocks away.
Oh fuck.
So that was the one like downside that
Holy fuck.
we had.
Sorry for
because
that, Dom. That sucks, man.
that does suck.
That sucks.
But-
That's bullshit.
Because he was actually gonna like he did one day. He's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like he was really discouraged about it, which I felt really bad.
No shit.
So, but anyway, we get there and we do our our rounds and that. Funko was a shit show. There was triple lines around Funko. If I want to get anything in Funko, I could definitely say forget about it because there was no way I was getting anything.
What time did you guys get there?
We were there when they opened. We got there and we were at the
Did you guys have media passes or no?
no, we had the press passes, yeah. So we can get in
Why
a
did
little
you
bit
guys
early.
get there early?
You can get there early and stay in the press area for the time being until they actually open the floor.
Oh, okay.
So they don't allow anybody on the floors.
Yeah, that sucks. Okay.
But it's kind of funny. So as soon as we got there, they had some kind of 3D interacting Amazon. So they're like, so the girl goes, "Oh, you're gonna come with us in this line, and we're gonna go do this." My brother's like, "Wait a minute, we're gonna do this. We don't even know whose line we're on." So we get to the area. So they're looking at a list. All right, you're on Dave's team, Dave's line. My brother goes, "Who the hell is Dave?" And it's Amazon. So we went along with it. So we went into the Amazon experience, and it was just fun.
I'm not going with hey, this is why I don't go through the front door ever. Fuck this.
Yeah, so we
All
went
right.
there. It was funny, but all right. So the interacting thing was some kind of you went there and you go into like an elevator type thing, and they have these screens, and it says "Welcome to London, 2079." He goes, "Look at the skyline. There's a skyline, and there's like these statues that were built in the sky in the side, the skyline." And also, "Oh my God, someone's coming! You can't be here!" And it goes off. That's it. I'm like, what the kind of experience was this? I thought we would have like levels and see different things.
Did it get
But-
you through the main line faster? Yes or no?
Exactly. It yeah. It went.
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Well, okay,
Oh.
that's worth it then. Huh? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
worth
so-
it. That's worth it.
So it was that. We actually went back to talk to them again later on, but it was actually pretty good. But like I said, after that was the first thing. But then, like I said, the Funko thing was here. So we actually wound up going over to Diamond Select, Diamond Select Toys.
Yeah, I saw something. Make sure you go into his IG to check out all the pics from this too, by the way.
So we know. Well, my brother knows a gentleman by the name of Zach, who runs a Select Diamond Select, and we spoke to him for a little bit. And I can honestly say, the guy is a sweetheart of a guy. He's a great guy. If you need something, he'll take care of it. This and that. So obviously, I'm always needing something, of course. What don't I need? But of course, they had the con exclusive Boba Fett, statue, which was like limited to 200 pieces,
Mm.
and they were supposed to have it at San Diego, but they didn't. They held it back, and you know the jumbo figures from a Gentle Giant. They had the Grand Emerald Throne, but anyway, I was able to get the Boba Fett and for review, so I got it for nothing. Which
Wow.
I have to thank him. So I was able to pick up that piece because I actually wanted that piece, and I was happy about that. And like I said, Zach is a great guy, and I'm going to do a review when I get a chance. When I come back from vacation, I'm going to do a review on it, a full review on the statue. And like I said, we went around doing things, and I wind up walking past Shattered Comics, you know, gentleman in Shattered Comics that has mosaic, like big like wall art that he does with pieces of glass that he puts the glass, individual glass, and he makes the mosaic art of a comic cover. And he also has, you know, the right from Marvel to make the cover of the book, and it's the actual comic or another story inside the book, but it's given. He got the right from Marvel to do it. I'm walking by, all of a sudden he sees me. He goes, "Dominic, oh my God, it's great to meet you in person." He goes, "All your Fed Time videos, this and that." He goes, "I'm very happy to meet you in person." So we hit it off really good, which
Wow.
I'm very happy about that because he was a nice guy, and we talked a lot of it. I wound up sitting behind the counter where he is, and we were just talking to breeze like we knew each other forever, which was it was really cool. He was talking about old Star Wars about oh man, I'm drawing a blank. The guy who did the original artwork for the Empire Strikes Back poster. And he gave a whole insight on that, which was really fascinating. That you know, he knew the guy and about the poster, the different transactions that the poster went through before it got the final poster for the movie. You know, so I was really liking that. Then the funniest part of the whole thing came. I have this gentleman walk over and go, "Oh my God, you're Dominic from Rennavision. Oh my God, I thought Pete would be here, but you're here." I'm like, I told him, I said, "Yeah." I go, "That's cool." He goes, "No, you don't understand. You're Dominic." And he goes, and he was trembling. It was kind of funny. He was trembling, and
Was it BK? Tell me it's BK. Tell me that his mom let him out of the broom closet.
no.
Go ahead.
So William, who's with the Shattered Comics, was sitting there, and he's looking at me and then looking at him, going, "Are you kidding me?" We're joking around. So I gave him a hug. It turns out being Chef.
Oh, no shit. That's awesome.
Nice.
So Chef came by and said, "What's up?" And
Yeah,
I really
cool.
appreciate the fact that he really, he really loved the show. He's like, "I may not interact a lot on the chat,
cool.
but
Yeah.
I love you guys."
Oh,
So
good. Thank you for that.
he really was appreciative. I gave a big hug. We took a picture, and
That's who was in the picture. I was like, "Who the hell's in this
Yeah.
picture?"
yes,
You got to
so-
tag the guy in the picture, bro.
No, I did. Well, I'm sorry. I was
You
trying
did a
to
group
get
picture, so I did. Yeah. All right, cool.
So
Right.
anyway, so I thought that was
Oh, that was cool.
pretty
man.
cool, pretty sweet. And I tell you what, like I felt like, nah, man, I'm just a person on YouTube. I'm just, this and that.
Yeah.
He's like, nah. He goes, "You guys are great," and he was
We do
really
have that
excited
That's
about
cool, man.
that. So after that, my brother was busy taking care of a couple of things, so I was doing a little walking around, and I went downstairs to the first a few attempts to find Charles Soule and Claudia Gray,
Mhm.
and with no luck. Every time I went down there, they were gone. They were busy. They were busy with like panels, and I tried getting the panels, but the panels were crazy. I'm sorry, Marco. I tried doing.
No, hey, I don't care. It is that place because we talked about it. Like last year, there was so much open space up there. This year, it was like asses to titties, man. It was packed.
No, I'm telling you, man. This year, from last year, knowing that we were in the hype of the pandemic and stuff like that, a lot of people backed out, so it wasn't as big. Everybody was there. They actually opened up the main corridor wider
jeez.
So it looked bigger. So it was more. And I'm telling you, the whole even as big. All right, if you're ever aware of the Cross Bronx Expressway, how big it is sometimes, and all that traffic, that was the line of the corridor because there was just so many people there. You know, the first, Thursday, like I said, Thursday they do the 10 o'clock thing and they open the things for everybody. Usually they would wait till like 4 o'clock back in the day, but now they open straight through. But it was fun. So I went downstairs and we did a check around and nothing. You know, it was packed. Autograph Alley was Artist Alley. Oh my God, Artist Alley. Well, the Autograph Alley. First of all, that was a shit show in its own. You didn't know which way the lines went, straight, sideways. It was just a shit show, and it was a lot of people. You know, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wait to come back down here again because it was just a shit show. And that's when I walked around, and then I wound up running into Antonio, Bird City Comics.
Oh, Anthony.
He's a really nice guy, man, Anthony. And you know, I talked to him for a little bit, and he said that you know Laura came. I met Laura the next day, but that's another thing. But they were really nice, and like I said, I had a nice little interaction with a few people
over at here in Nevada. Yeah, Bird City Comics. Yep.
Yeah, it was really cool, and everybody was like nice. You know, I actually found out a couple of things that there was a few thefts that went on at the con.
Oh, really?
I saw a bunch of that news.
So apparently there was one incident that a guy was playing drunk, tripped over a sign, knocked things over. So when the person came out to pick it up, they took a $32,000 box of comics. But they found it. They recovered it in somebody else's area, which that's really bullshit because how low do you have to be to steal someone's books and have it at your
go ask Carbo.
Oh my God,
they
man.
put it in somebody else's booth?
Yes.
I wonder if whoever took it went and traded it for something at somebody else's booth. Maybe.
No, I think somebody was trying to run him down and they just dropped it or something.
Maybe.
I saw the post.
Wow.
So
crazy.
So in a nutshell, I met some people. I gave out the Rennavision cards and the Dark Side cards to some people, and I told them we have a YouTube channel, and people were very interested. And I ran into some people. So the guy was dressed as Darth Revan, and I'm like, oh shit, I go, Revan, let me take a picture. And then his friend turns around and goes, you see, people know who you are. I said, how can not anybody know who you are? So we started talking. And to make a long story short, I talked to the guy, I gave him a card. We might have new people, new viewers.
Oh, it'd be interesting to see how he puts his suit together. I'd like to have him on.
He turned around and as we're walking away, going, "I'm gonna tell you one thing. This was the best." He goes, "This was the best part of the show, talking to me." And I was like, "You know what? That feels the gratitude, man. How can you not enjoy the fans and the people
that's awesome.
Out there?" So that was really cool. But the crazy thing is, I actually went out. So that first night, I actually, I don't know if you're familiar with Nate, Trial by Gods. Yeah, he was with McClay on a lot of the shows in McClay. He reached out to me and wanted to go out for a drink. So throughout the day it got busy. So later on when I got home, he reached out to me and he was at one of the bars at the bar that Luke Cage was at with Jessica Jones in the Netflix series, his bar. It's on 7th Street and Avenue B. But anyway, I went there and met with him. So to make a long story short, I got home late and I drank a lot. The next day I got up, I was feeling like shit. I go to the con. My brother texts me, make sure you don't forget your badge. So
you forget your badge.
I go to the con, I have the badge. Guess what I forgot?
Your wallet?
Cards.
Oh, it's all right. Yeah. Just tell. There's the thing. You could just sit.
I know, but I felt naked because I didn't have the cards.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Look at you doing a better job than we do. All right, we're gonna talk more New York Comic Con. We've got like the panels that he said were tough to get into. We do got stuff out of both of those panels and other stuff delivering else. Dom, is there a little bit left, or are we you want to take a break so we can get into comic review or stuff? Or do you
If you want to do something else, I can do something. I can go back.
No,
to,
I mean, do you have anything? Yeah. Just
no,
finish up.
I got a few more things. So I actually ran into. I don't know if you familiar with Sam Meggs, who wrote the Skywalker story in Jedi and Sith.
Yeah.
I actually spoke to her.
Okay, cool.
And I spoke to her about the show, and she was like interested. And she has a new book coming out in the next few months. By Del Rey. So I don't know when. I don't know the name of the book because she wouldn't give me that information.
There was a lot of Del Rey writers out there.
Yeah, there was, and I spoke to her. She was really cool, really cool. And other than that, I had my second. That was my second time going, third time going down. And Charles Soule, Cody Gray, we're not there, but we can come back, and I'll.
No, go ahead. What would Charles Soule have to say?
So, finally, to wrap up the con, like I said, I met a lot of great people and a lot of good connections.
Mm-hmm.
I finally get downstairs and I meet Charles Soule. So I go, Mr. Soule, I apologize. I'm sorry to bother you. He was by himself because I actually spoke to his publicist before I seen him, and he told me to come back between 5 and 5:30. I actually went down at 6:30, and he was by himself.
Yeah.
So I went there and I went up to him. So as I'm talking to him, some guy comes over. Oh my God, I saw you in the panel. I got a new High Republic book. Can you sign it? He looks at him and goes, can't you see I'm talking to somebody?
Oh,
wait your turn. So I spoke to him and I was like, listen, Charles, so I go, I'm on a YouTube channel, Dark Side Crew. I go, we love your work. And we're just, we were just hoping if it's possible, if one of these days, if you have some free time and if you want to be on a YouTube station, we will talk about Star Wars. I would love to have you on. So he took the card and he looked at the card. And he said, "Oh, the Dark Side Crew, I like that." And he looked. He goes, "The contact." He goes, "All right, I'm going to talk to my publisher, try to set something up. I can't promise anything, but I'm going to try to get back to you. This and that." I said, "Mr. Soule, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I know you're busy, and I don't want to hold you up anymore. This and that." And he goes, "No problem." He actually signed an autograph book for me, but I got it for somebody else. I go, "How much I owe you?" He goes, "Nah, it's free on me, man. Have a good day, man."
Oh, that's cool of him. Yeah, at least it's cool. It's good to hear when people are cool.
Yeah.
Are you going to show your pickups on Friday for Miracle Madness?
Yeah, I'm going to show the pickups. Where
he's not going to show here. I want him to do that.
No,
I'm not here.
I'm plugging Friday here for.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm not here. I'm going to be away in South Carolina for.
Yeah, but you guys are taping it, right?
He's going to be gone.
I'm going to be gone for the week.
All right. So next,
he might try and dial in from his hotel, but he's not going to.
Well, what I could do is, I might do a video tonight sometime on the pickups, and then send it to Jedi.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And then
I think you should do that because I saw some of the stuff and I don't want to spoil it. That's what I didn't want to do is have us spoil his stuff on this show. But dude, it was really good. All right, we're going to do comment.
Wait, before you go on, I don't know if I should even do this, but to me, this is the comment of the night from Zaggy. I assume this was with regard to the conversation on the theft or the, and then Zaggy fell.
No, this is getting to a point where this is
anyway. I thought that was funny.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of I don't know, man. I sometimes wonder what when you hear the good stories from Dom, you also wonder what some of these YouTubers are doing or IG people.
Just one more thing before I stop. So this is so remember my brother parked 5 blocks away.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a bag full of stuff, and we had to go lug to his car, so we didn't have to carry it around. So pushing him in the wheelchair. So we're going across the street to try to go to the car. A car pulls up, and he stops. And I told him just to hold on a second. So I went around the car to bring him because his car was right there. Mm-hmm. As I bring him around, there's a huge pothole. The wheelchair goes in the pothole. He flies out of the wheelchair into the floor. The bag goes flying.
Oh my God.
So the guy gets out of the car, helps me pick him up, puts him back in the wheelchair, and we put the stuff in the thing. He hurt his wrist. So now that's the whole part of the thing why my brother had a really bad experience.
Man.
But he did get happy because he was able to get to the Star Trek panel.
Oh, boo.
I know. Wait, listen.
Boo.
I'm in the elevator. I'm taking them up to the Star Trek panel, and they're all Star Trek fans. They start all fanboying about Star Trek. I open my jacket going, Star Wars #1. They're like, boo!
Yeah, Trekkies are the worst. Trekkies are the worst.
Yeah.
But he got
Smell like
look,
rotten bologna
his
sandwich.
highlight. He was able to get in the front row of the panel and saw Picard and everybody from, and he was a fanboy in motion.
Well, I mean, people like that Picard guy, so I mean, that's a thing.
And he wanted a wristband for an after party that he could take an extra person. I went to the after party.
You didn't go to a Star Trek after party.
No.
did you?
Are you guys familiar with a TV show called Yellow Jackets about a female soccer team?
It's a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
good show.
it was
Really
an
good
after
show.
party for that.
Oh, nice, dude. Congrats.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
hey, tell your brother. Our thoughts were with.
Were the actors there?
Yes, they were there, but they were in a
Because
special
one of the
TV.
actresses,
but they were-
actresses in Yellow Jackets has also played one of the biker girls in Book of Boba Fett.
Well,
Oh,
also,
wow.
She was
what's her name? Gwendolyn. What's her name from Game of Thrones and Captain Phasma?
You could have
I
you
saw
could have
her-
got an interview about
I
the
saw her-
biker, the Vespa gang.
You know, what?
Actually, I think isn't one of the writers working on a Star Wars show? Am I imagining that?
All I know is like
Yeah,
I do know Dom. I've met Dom's brother before. He's a great guy at Geek. Hey, Dom.
Geek Astronomy.
Thank you. And like it was really cool that it's tough sometimes to go there. I was really worried the first day when I saw the crowds too. So I'm glad at least he got that part of it. I'm glad it worked out. You're a good dude, Dom. And great review, by the way.
Yeah,
Great
thank
review. So
You got it, man.
all right, we gotta get through the crappy comic of the week. Crappy comic of the week was Mando. It's crappy because we already know what happened. I threw some panels up here while throwing up, going, "Why am I even doing this?" We get the side piece for Mando here and the little kid.
The aliens that are attacking the village. They look like
I
dogs.
got that in there too.
I know. It's like dogs.
First appearance for Cara Dune. And that didn't look too much like Cara Dune until later when they just put a big old mole on the side of her face.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the Rebel Alliance, the symbol.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's a tattoo.
Yeah, tattoo. All right, so that was the end. That's all I gave you was 6 points.
There you go.
Great review, Marco.
I didn't
Yeah,
care.
You
about
said maybe 2 words about the whole comment.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, these Mando books are really just I don't even know, man. I don't know what to say about them. Does anybody have anything
Pointless? I think pointless is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, pointless is the word about it.
Now, I actually haven't sat down and read them. Are they verbatim?
Yeah,
Pretty close.
Yeah.
They're pretty close.
Like I mean,
There's
I
almost
don't
not-
know what it is.
Usually on adaptations, there's a little bit of new information or something that kind of like adds to.
it's like
I haven't noticed anything here. That's
and they
add
shove
anything.
the panels, and they shove tons of panels on each page, so it's like literally the show.
Wow.
I think there was something with the girl playing with somebody at one point that wasn't in the show, but whatever. All right, next week we've got Star Wars.
28.
The stories passed on Star Wars.
Please
28.
no FOMO. Please no FOMO on these books. Because
Star
Luke is in his
He's
in
got
a
hair in it again.
Imperial outfit. Please, thank you.
Yeah. Oh wait, we haven't gotten to that yet. Here we go.
Yeah.
There you go. Now say it down. Now
Oh,
say it.
Please, no FOMO, guys. No FOMO.
Yeah.
He's in an Imperial outfit. Please, for the sake of God, do not pay more than cover price. Thank you.
I must have
Well, he's already wore a stormtrooper outfit. in
Yeah,
the freaking
I'm gonna say,
movie.
kind of already done that.
I know.
So
I know.
give me the correction on this if I'm wrong, but because it was in the crossovers, isn't Han frozen in carbonite still right now?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I think
So
so.
instead of fucking training to be a Jedi like he was supposed to be doing, he's now playing dress up as an Imperial soldier. So once again, how did fucking Luke become
maybe
a master
this is,
Jedi?
no, maybe he's doing this to find out the whereabouts and to have the plan made to go rescue Han, and this is part of it. You know.
Yeah, no, I get
What-
that, but right, you see what I'm saying here? Like, there's a whole part of where he just training. Like, it's kind of just blurring. Like, if he's got time to fuck around and just dress up and play, I don't know.
I mean, the last 2 comics have been pretty good, so I'm willing to
yeah,
go.
the
With
last 2 have been okay. No, yeah, the last 2 have been okay. Yeah, but did you see this too? Like, the whole front part of this, was it done by a different artist, or did they just give up and draw green smoke and the explosions and like it seems like the coloring's different in a lot of the panels. It seems like when they tell the different portions of the panels, the drawing and the coloring gets different. So
Who
I
is
don't-
the guy? Who is the guy that did the art that made them look like the other characters that people were complaining?
Mhm.
Remember, like the beginning of the Star Wars run.
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mayhew?
was it
It
Mayhew?
was
Was it
Mayhew,
Mayhew? That
yeah.
was. Yeah, Mayhew, right? That he was
You were
drawing
complaining about
Mayhew,
that?
right?
Yeah,
I
he
hear
did
you.
like the Ben stuff and yeah.
Yeah, and then people were complaining that it's freaking us out that they look so realistic. The characters. I'm like,
I like it better than what they're doing now when
Yeah,
they
don't
don't
you
even
want-
draw
exactly.
noses and mouths. Next week also we finally get Star Wars Republic, High Republic #1. It's going to be an interesting book. There's a lot of these. There's a fucking shit ton of these books out.
Tons.
And we'll get to some other stuff later that they're maybe that this might not be the most important book. This probably okay. I'd willing to bet this isn't the most important book of the High Republic series. But we'll get into that a little bit later after we do our review, because when you review the novel, we've already shown all these preview pages already. It's nothing new. We went over them a couple of weeks ago or whatever. I did combine those pages, so when they're flying in, it looks kind of cool. They're going to meet this, blah, 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 blah. Next week also is Trick or Treat. We're going to add for one. So if you never got Afro 1, just don't go raid these guys. They do pay for them, by the way. I mean, I know it's not expensive for them to pay for it, but the shops do pay for them, and usually it's nice to get new readers in this way because it's either cheap.
Leave some for the kids.
Yeah, leave some for the kids. I don't know if this is a kid-friendly story, but at least a teenager-friendly story.
Yeah, I never noticed on the cover of that regular cover. We always seen the cover already. Was the little BT unit on the corner? Was that ever on there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I can't remember. All
right. Either way, that wouldn't be a reason to pick this book up. Remember, you got to keep the hobby going. Or you could just push store
Be
variants.
clear too, it is 2020 after #1, not after #1 2017.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can still buy these for $6-7 bucks. Normal cover.
Yeah, I mean it's not. I mean, I guess you could just. I mean, you could get bought off by store variants and then just show the whole book inside, anyways, on a YouTube page or whatever. All right. Next up is Visions. I don't even know what to say about this. What is the cover on the? What is the B cover?
First appearances.
No, fucking. What is it? Is it good?
Ronan versus
no.
town.
That's not what I'm asking. Well,
what the hell are you asking?
Well, okay, so I want to say it's shit, but I'm just so out of place in it because I don't know. Is this an anime thing? I don't know. Is this like a modern anime look? What the fuck is that cover?
You mean manga, but yeah.
Manga. Is that a new? That's a. I mean, I haven't.
Animes.
I guess it's like the 80s or 90s or whatever.
I don't ever think I've ever seen a manga cover like that.
Is that like artwork from or something? I don't understand the artwork on that cover.
The one on the right looks much closer to them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I've seen ones similar to that too, but I don't know. Is it going to be colored?
It's Magna. Hey, hit me.
The whole thing black and white.
Well,
black and white with that purple.
I think black and white, purple, and a red lightsaber.
I don't get. Then I don't get about it as the purple.
It's pretty cool. I like it.
Blue would have made more sense or something like that.
The only book that looks bad is the Future Mocha one.
Oh yeah, she's a terrible artist, in my opinion.
Either way, so we're gonna. This is the insides.
Is this an adaptation or no?
No, it's a brand new story.
New story.
New story.
It doesn't even with the novel. It's different, right?
Isn't this the novel? This is from the novel.
This is adaptation of the novel.
Well, the beginning of the novel is the Ronin story from the show.
The show, yeah.
Like the first, I don't know. I can't remember how many chapters.
It's a brand new story. I don't think it comes from the novel.
I thought it was supposed to be a brand new story too.
I thought it was a brand new story too. That's what I thought. But I think somebody told me that it was from the novel, a part of it's from the novel, his origin. Or something.
Maybe they reference it. Yeah, I don't know.
Either way, it hurts my eyes, but I'm still gonna read it because it looks good.
I like it.
So
it's different and it's a one shot. I'm excited.
I almost would rather just have the whole thing black and white though, like an actual manga rather than.
They'll probably come out with a color version. They'll probably another variant.
He's saying it should be all black and white.
Jedi, are you picking this one up or are you skipping this one?
Who?
Jedi.
He's finally
he didn't say anything.
No, I'm not picking this one up.
The writing's in English. So. There's no subtitles.
Actually, as much as it pains me to say, I did kind of like that cover on the left.
Yeah, the left cover's fine. That's not the one I was asking about.
Yeah, I know. I'm just the other one's hard to get your orientation.
I think, all kidding aside, I think this book is going to be a hot seller. It really is.
Well, the novel isn't such a hot fucking seller.
I don't know. Actually, the novel did okay, but
I know it did okay, but it wasn't like gangbuster. Like as they were
No.
saying this. Yeah.
I don't think it'll be that huge of a seller either. I just don't.
And the Wayseeker, you said it was a one shot.
Yep, just a one shot.
Yeah, it's a one shot.
So
And I think
it's gonna be
the
all
order.
like first appearance, like everybody has first appearances, or what?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
I don't know, JJ. Isn't this character in a one of the manga books?
True.
Like Mando.
He's in a book, yeah, but like
Yep.
this is first appearance. Oh shit, we're not gonna do it. We're not fucking doing this, especially with this. It's a,
Yes.
I mean, it's a highly ordered book. Everybody's been pushing this because, like, the same thing with the other one. There's 30,000 first appearances in this, yes, but there's also tons of people have ordered it, and nobody saw this not coming. It's the same thing with High Republic 1. I mean, High Republic 1. The only difference is High Republic 1's got 50 fucking store variants, where this has got like 3. So, all right. But it looks good though. I mean, I'm gonna read it. I don't know. I hope Jedi gets into it too.
I think
Wow,
two of the store variants are just the 2 covers in a virgin thing or something.
I actually could read it now if I wanted to because I have the
One variant. Yeah.
yes, the variant that came out. I picked up yesterday.
For what?
Uh,
I wasn't listening.
NYCC.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want.
The Star Wars High Republic on FOC Star Wars High Republic 2. What I was going to say, shit, this is going to almost spoil our review. If you read that novel that we're going to talk about later, I'm actually thinking at the end of 3 in the comics and the beginning of 4 are going to be probably 2 of the most important High Republic comics there is. Just because of kind of what the description of this and what we know already from the... Is that fair to say, Wayseeker?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's...
I'm not trying to spoil anything now or get into the review right away, but I think, I know everybody's hullabalooing about the first because there's 50 store variants, but like legitimately, if you guys, the 3rd book will cover the novel, but the end of the 3rd, beginning of the 4th for sure.
We don't know if they could. Some of them could show up in 2. We just don't know.
2, yeah. I know they're not showing up in 1, but...
that's the thing. Like people have talked about 1, so we know one of the characters from this book is showing up in 1, but it's not really an important character.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Sunshine Dobbs later, but but that's one of the characters. But the characters that we really love from this book, at least I really love, and I think Margaret really loves, they could be in 2, but we know they're coming at least in.
We can know they're coming in 3 and 4 for sure. All right. All right. That's the end of FOC. We got through that. All right, guys. Now what do you want to do next? Putting it up to the panel. What do you guys want to do next? Do you want to do back to NYC for a little bit, or do you want to hit up the path? We should probably talk about the path, right? Because we're already spoiling crap. Huh?
I said probably the path.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to the path before Jedi has to go to dinner. Sorry, Jedi. We'll speed through this and then you can go to dinner. My bad. All right. Path of Deceit, which is not okay. I think Jedi is going to have Jedi listened to it. Me and Wayseeker read it. It is a junior novel. I don't know where Wayseeker bought his, but where I bought mine was I bought mine at Barnes & Noble because I always buy there for the special stuff. And they didn't even know they got this book in, and they had only got 2 copies in. And when the guy finally found it in the junior novel section, he's like, "Oh," and I was like, "What?" He's like, "I guess we did get 2 in, and we haven't sold any. You're the first one to buy this." And I was like, "Huh." So that was not. I guess I was like, "Oh wow, this is not going to go well." But Jedi, listen to it. Wayseeker, where'd you get yours?
I got mine just on Amazon. I'm lazy.
Where'd you get yours?
Mine's audio. So
audio. Oh, you listened to it too. I guess Wayseeker put these together. I think there is at least 2 separating opinions of this book. I believe. But we can start off with the first panel so we can explain people. Wayseeker, how do you want to run through this?
So we're just doing some main characters to kind of get some ideas of characters here. So for the Jedi side, we can talk about what we think about them, I guess, as we go along, however you want. But the master is Zala McCree. We don't have a picture of her, but you wanted to talk about the species. So we have a species. We have the picture of her species, which is Soken from Velko Jahin, was in the Insiders stories from Phase 1.
Also, wasn't she in an Ireland story already? Both of these characters have showed up
in the comics briefly.
Yeah, she was in the comics just a little bit. Yep, but she was a main character in some of those Insider stories. So that's the species of Zala McCree. And then you got Kevmo Zink, who's the Padawan, and he's Pantoran, and he's just like an adolescent who, wants to
Here's
get
your
everyone's
alien,
attention, likes to flirt, likes to be the center of attention. I
He's
think
very
and,
charismatic. Yeah, it's a very different look because he's very charismatic, and his master is the opposite, which is a Jedi. That's usually a hookup thing. They do, the opposite between the two, and their strongest.
Don't use the word.
I know I probably shouldn't use hooked up. I got that. But the strongest characteristics. But in this one, you would typically think a lot of stuff with the Padawan is maybe taboo with the Jedi, you would think, but it wasn't. Like how they explained it and how the master kind of went with it. It was like, no, because he was grounded. I actually thought they were going to do something really stupid with that character. They didn't end up doing it. They actually pulled it back. Jedi, what was your opinion on these characters? Just a general overview when you were introduced to them.
So I don't know. I always have a hard time, especially it was the same way with the first High Republic, Starlight Beacon or whatever. Anytime there's a new group of characters, it's hard for me to keep identifying who they are until I get more accustomed to them. I don't know. You guys go ahead. I mean, I have a general, I honestly can't remember a whole lot of the specifics about this book. I mean, I was trying to get through it in 1 week because I knew we were going to talk about it. So I was listening to it while I was doing some other tasks and things. So I might not recall a lot of the specifics. I just do recall that there's a lot of, I don't know. To me, it just seems this whole book could have been a lot shorter than it was if they had just taken out a lot of the young adult content, the goo eyes.
Not much left to the book, dude.
They took out a lot of the content that the book's intended for the audience. Well,
yeah, it was just a lot of the, once it got past a lot of the, like I said, the goo eyes, she likes me, does she like me, blah, blah, blah. The book got pretty good towards, I saw I was teasing JJ about he's almost to the good stuff because the latter parts of the book were actually pretty good. The earlier stuff was really hard for me to give a shit about, to be honest, but I'm probably the outcast there maybe.
While I was saying like it's already a short book is because I think this took me like 2.5 hours to read. It was big print and not filling up the full pages a lot. I don't know how many pages it was, maybe 300 pages. So like when he says cut it out, we weren't making fun of him. We were saying like, well, if you cut out 100 pages, you got like a 200-page book, and it wasn't like they're full pages. So it was already apparently. Yeah, I guess. But I mean, as far as these two characters go, JJ, you've been introduced to them before. Did you like what you've been introduced to so far? I know you've only got through 11 chapters.
I mean, it's hard to say because obviously I don't have the full. I've only been like maybe not even a third of the way in, but so I don't have the full character development. But so far, like as far as introductions, I don't mind them. Yeah, they seem like they'll be. I appreciate the, like you said, the oppositeness, I guess, of the personalities, which has kind of always been like a Jedi thing, and I appreciate them kind of sticking to that.
So we do have a big spoiler later on these characters. Wayseeker.
I know. I'm gonna be spoiled by the end of this thing.
Yeah. Wayseeker. What was your opinion of these two and how they handle them?
I mean, the main character in the story is Kevmo of the two. We don't really get to know much about Zella. She's isolated, and a lot of the story takes place away from her. I liked Kevmo. I think Kevmo was, when I think of adolescent Jedi stories, this one was realistic, and I liked how he was sure of himself. A lot of the early ones, adolescent Jedis aren't sure of himself. Like he knows the Force. He's maybe has too much in tune to the Force, but like he's just really
so they Ireland is famous for going down these tropes where she then decides to derail the storyline for a 4-page googly-eyed, as Jedi says, looking into each other's eyes, and then something that wouldn't be stereotypical. I thought Kevmo was going to fall in love with another character and go, oh, I really am thinking about leaving the Force over her. And they did not go that route. I don't know if it was the other writer that reined her in. And if she did, congratulations, because I was waiting for that stereotypical Ireland 3-page, 4-page, like
oh, the whole world's crashing around us, and I'm just going to go try to see how many people I can make out with, and it never came. I thought it was. I thought. Go ahead.
I don't necessarily want to defend her writing style, but I will say when you guys say like the Google that stuff, like you do understand that we
I understand.
are not the intended audience of this
I do
book.
understand. Once again,
I can see that point. Yeah,
I do understand that, but this isn't like my first dipping into junior novels either. Like
I know. I'm just saying, like
she overzealously has got this pat backing style of where she is trying to promote something, and it just is.
Do you think in a kind of a reverse way, and maybe we don't get it because again, not being the target audience, and none of us are here. But do you think that may be a way to get more younger female readers involved in Star Wars?
Because I'm a big fan of Marie Gant, and if you know who she is, she did a lot of like apocalyptic stuff, but she was very high into that. And this is what I'm thinking. This other artist, the other writer too, I think has it. They have a balance where they explain the relationship on a child or a teenager to, early college era, and it's not foolish. It's not. It doesn't seem like
not
you're
as
just
strong.
it doesn't seem like you're just putting it in there. You know, the guy that shows up to like every place with too much fucking cologne on. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm just talking about I'm talking more about the insertion of the kind of the romance aspect of it in general versus not having it there at all.
No, they have. That's what I'm saying. Like they have it in those books because it's a standard of bearer of those books. But Justine Ireland is like the dude that bathed in fucking cologne because he thinks it's good.
It worked for Twilight.
It stinks too hard. I mean, it just stinks too hard.
I mean, so we'll get into the next character, but the romance here that we're talking about is Kevmo and Marta Rowe. And what I liked about this romance, right?
We didn't say Marta.
We didn't get there yet, but is they represent two people who are very passionate about what they believe in, and yet are engaging in difference in the first time. And so, like, there's an openness, and that just kind of opens the door for all sorts of, interactions between the two. It's really the first time where they've interacted with somebody who is passionate about what they believe in and yet is different about it. And I feel like that would make this romance that blossoms between them and yet is also hesitant, realistic.
There was a lot of different paradigms too in it where they were doing like the homeschooled versus the private school. Like there was a lot of things that were done really well. And Wookiee, I think, they're never going to do that, but I had actually asked Wasey. I usually don't ask personal stuff about authors, and I did behind the scenes about this. And I would say that I have a feeling that she might have directed. This is purely speculation because I've read a lot of Justine's stuff, and this was such a different book that maybe there was a little bit of, hey, maybe we don't do that. Maybe maybe it doesn't play as well as you think it plays. And it was for just. I thought this book, I went in trying to hate this book and I couldn't do it. I'm a spoiler alert. I didn't hate this book. We also got introduced to the homeschoolers.
Did you say you were trying to hate it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I despise her work that much that I was trying to hate this book. It did rub off on Jedi a bit, but it did not apparently on me. I gave it a fair shot. I really was trying to dislike or find ways to dislike it. And just when I was about to, it always seemed to turn its way. So explain these two characters, Wayseeker, real quickly.
Yeah, so the Path of the Open Hand is a Force faction. That's what we're going to use these terms. Who believes that the Force should be free. And so you have the Herald, who's the traditional leader of the Path of the Open Hand. We know this Path of the Open Hand has been around for about 100 years. It broke off from the Guardian of the Wills and came to Dalna.
An ex-Guardian of the Will broke off and then decided to start his own cult.
Yep. And so they go to Dalna, and the Herald's kind of the traditional leader of this group, and that's Worth. But the Mother is the functional leader. She comes in at a later date. She wasn't really part of this group, but she has visions and is able to really ideologically, I think, co-opt this movement. And so
They
she
never really gave
functions
us-
as the leader, but she's not part of it, and she didn't grow up in this movement.
Okay, Jedi. Maybe both of you can answer this, and then before I ask you what you thought of this, but they never. The mother. They gave her a first name, right? But they never really gave us who she is.
Right.
Right? Doesn't she feel like something a little? I don't know how it sounded, Jedi, but doesn't she feel like something a little bit bigger? Like they were hiding. I don't know what, but they were hiding something from us for her. Did you get that feeling in the audio, Jedi?
Well, I mean, I certainly had the feeling that she was bigger than. I don't know what you mean. Well, I mean, I don't really know what you mean.
Like just
I'll
some
answer
random
that.
person that was a little bit force sensitive that showed up to a planet, like, and she
Well, no,
somehow
I definitely
took over
got the
entire
sense
cult.
that she was very important.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if I really got the sense that she was maybe force sensitive or not.
Oh, we definitely know she is.
yeah,
But
we
we can talk
definitely
about that in a minute. Later. That was my first question. We can. I think
Oh,
we
fine.
got to get to the end of the book
All right.
with the nameless showing up before we can talk about how we know that she is force sensitive.
Yeah. All right. So then we also get some rows. We get a couple rows. By the way, the cover on the left or the right is a row that's going to show up on the cover of High Republic 4. That's why, and actually that's the herald in the front front guard. So too. All right, go ahead, Wayseeker.
Yep. So Marta and Yana are cousins.
Mhm.
We've kind of saw in the comics how the Everini had to leave their home world, and bad shit just kept happening to them, and that nobody likes the Everini. These two, they lost their family members, and one thing about the Path of the Open Hand is they pretty much steal children.
Yeah.
Right. And we saw that happen like in the other children's book where like they're stealing children. Path of the Open Hand, they steal children who don't have parents. And that's why they bring them in when they're a very young age. And so these two were kidnapped, for the better way of saying it, and brought to Dolna at a very young age because they didn't have anybody to take care of them.
Okay, so they did break down a little bit too. It gave a little bit backstory that not just backstabbing and hating each other, but this race also would go to other planets, and then whatever bad luck happened got blamed on them because they have sharpened teeth, because of their looks, because of their reputation, whatever it was, and they would try to just like if it didn't rain and they got a drought, guess what? They're blaming these guys and they're coming for them and hunting them down, kind of like the Frankenstein's monster and stuff like that, which was very interesting. And or witches,
Like
very
gypsies.
good. Thank you. Yeah, gypsies. Very good. Thank you, JJ. Oh, very good. Gypsies. Yes, nice. But they're also two very different characters, right? Wayseeker?
Yeah. Marta is like the truest of the believers. She is 100% all in on the Path of the Open Hand. Whatever their Kool-Aid they're selling, she's buying it, and she is going to sell it, mark it up 1,000%, and she believes she can get anybody to convert, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what she wants to do, and she wants to spread the Path of the Open Hand to all the galaxy because she thinks this is the truth. What she's learned is what the galaxy needs to know. She does not really fit as a typical Everini. We know that they're vicious. They kill people. They backstab. She's not that way. She is gentle and kind and loving, and trusting.
And unfortunately, Dom, there still is slavery in there, especially with the Hutts, because they were both about to be turned into slaves, and she was going to be put in the Leia costume. However, the Open Hand, and it didn't say that the Open Hand bought them, did it? It kind of referenced like they acquired them from the Hutts, which is a very interesting.
They're the wash Mandalorian.
Right.
Well, let's just take these kids. Nobody's taking care of them. We'll just take them.
Yeah. They're the Death Watch, pretty much. Yeah.
So
they get into that. Go ahead.
Yana, on the other hand, right? She doesn't care about the Force. She's brutal. She's vicious.
But she's a little bit older
about
too.
Herself. She cares about Marta. She cares about her girlfriend. That's it. Anything else, she doesn't care about. She wants to get away from the Path of the Open Hand because she's part of this inner circle that belongs to the mother, whose task is to go out there and to steal Force artifacts. The mother is trying to acquire as many Force artifacts as she can. She has these children who, don't fit the mold for the most part, who have special gifts and are brutal, who are doing things for the mother that the rest of the Path of the Open Hand either doesn't know or looks the other way because
they think they're either out there preaching. They think they're out there preaching and begging, and that's how they're getting these things. Not because they're saying they're freeing the Force from it. The relationship too, Yana's relationship, definitely was written by the other author, not by Ireland, because it was very mature. The notes were mature.
Well, I don't mean to interject, but you're assuming that fact.
I am. I said that ahead of time. I said that ahead of time.
You should probably tamp down that talk because you don't really know.
Well, I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure.
I know, but still,
I used to be a pretty good gambler, and I will say, this is something I would lay money on. I would lay money on that one. But
I'm just saying, unless you probably shouldn't. Credit where credit is due, so to speak.
I think the interviews are pretty clear, though, that Tessa Gratton is the main writer.
Yeah.
When Tessa talks about the book, like Tevmo was everything she said that she could put into a Jedi, and so like she makes it seem like she was the main writer, and Ireland they wrote other books for non-Star Wars together, and so I feel like Ireland kind of gave the trajectory.
Usually it's when there's co-authors like this, it's a split deal where somebody like one's more like character creation side and the other's actual story.
You can see it a little bit in the book, but I will say this: they gave them a lot. This book, like it is, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know if there was even a book in High Republic 1. I thought it was all horse shit when you were sending me that thing from Scott where he was like, what did I say? I literally said, he's full of shit. This book can't be that important.
Yeah.
He's mansplaining. He's trying to help them out because she's gotten bad stuff before. There's no way this book could be. After reading this book, I'm like, holy shit. Like, even though it was only 300 pages, they compounded a lot of stuff, a lot of very important stuff. And like, for not just the High Republic.
So I'm going to look at the page count. It seems like it'd be longer than that.
It's like 330, maybe. I don't know. It didn't.
It's like 330. Yeah,
it's short, but like in big words. But what I'm saying is like it wasn't just for Phase 2. Like overall, for the High Republic, everything we know from Phase 1, they gave them a lot of shit to get into here, and they did a good. I mean, I'm not. Look, you guys know what I think of Ireland. I'm tipping my cap, even if she did write some.
Even if you want to give her no credit by giving Tessa all the credit.
Not being very far into it, I thought it was an interesting choice to flip it a little bit this time around for the Phase 2 and start with a young adult novel instead of the full adult novel.
I don't think that was real. It
was delayed.
Convergence was supposed to come out on the same day. You know how as this book. I'm still a firm believer that Convergence was supposed to be the main opener, with this one being the secondary opener. They're both supposed to come out on the first day, kind of like.
There's no way it could have it's no way it could have as big of an impact as this book, though. Like
I almost wonder if the delay was for the reason of building a timeline kind of aspect to it, rather than having them both come out.
I don't know. I think the delay, my personal belief is Convergence just wasn't good. And this book was. And so they put this book first. But I think they're both supposed to come out on the same day, but we'll see. I hope Convergence is awesome, but it's been delayed twice, and I'm skeptical at this point. Delays.
But I mean, I think when we saw the first book for High Republic,
it sounds like somebody can't meet deadlines.
We liked it because of good. It was written very well. The characters were interesting, but it didn't go that far. And I don't like. They also had the
those portions, 3 portions.
They also had the Drangir, which were like the throwaway bad guys that nobody still. I mean, reading the novels, you knew they were gonna be shit. If you watched our early videos, we're like, these weed plants are fucking stupid. They're going to be gone, and they were just a subplot, which really sucked. They put too much into. All right, let's talk about dipshit Dobbs. This is the part I hated.
Wookie's question, real quick.
Go ahead.
Convergence did just get delayed again, and it got delayed to Thanksgiving week. And like a book coming out on Thanksgiving week also doesn't give me much hope. It's like when you're trying to hide. But yes, it did just get delayed. We'll find out. All right, go ahead.
Jedi's favorite character in this book was Sunshine Dobbs, especially considering in the first 10 pages they must have said Sunshine 36 times.
Why? Because he has a beard. That's why.
Jedi, would you like to interject on how much you love this shitty character?
I couldn't. Every time I heard his name, I thought of Remember the Titans.
Yeah, me too. Sunshine.
Wow.
Hard to take this character serious, but yeah, they did drop his name an awful lot, and apparently either Groton or Ireland couldn't get enough of Lompops
Ireland,
because Ireland seems like
Ireland.
every other word or every other paragraph contains some reference to how great and lovely the Lompops were in that. Yeah. Like, okay.
This character, Sunshine, like JJ put the asterisk, but we're not going to do it again because we already did it like 18 times. I'm giving this one to Ireland.
And the Lompop thing, did that not make any? Because didn't she get her name from a flower in the last phase?
Yeah.
So how's 150 years before that?
What do you mean?
Isn't this supposed to be 150 years before that?
Yeah, it's the flower still on Dalna though, in the book.
Oh, you're not talking about. Okay, never mind. I thought you meant like Lompop, like a family.
No.
You're talking about the flower. Okay.
It's the fucking flower.
The make their appearance like every other page for a while.
Every other page, and Sunshine's the same thing. Like this stuff was a typical writing. I'm not saying she wrote it, but this was a typical writing and style of what Ireland does. Like just like the Dane Cook of fucking horseshit Star Wars stuff. So
we have to get like an official page count of who wrote what pages, and
I don't know if I agree. I mean,
you can disagree, but you'd be wrong. Okay,
this person it plays a couple of really important characters because his importance really is he has the only pathway to an unknown world in wild space.
Right, but that was the subplot with how much he was obsessed and in love with the mother for a reason
I get
that we don't know, and like just that's what I'm saying. Like there was, instead of telling us more about that subplot and all that other or the space mapping, it then was like her eyes look so lovely. I would maybe like to smell her hair. Like get the fuck out of here.
But don't you think that there's something there? Like
was it red like William Shatner there?
Or he's just using some sort of
I thought
horsepower
maybe, but like they didn't explore. But that's the point. Is that's the shit that Ireland does and doesn't explore that fucking point.
I don't think they want to explore that yet. I think they want to leave that question open because
no bullshit. Go read her other book.
I was ready for the Ireland writing comment.
Go read her other book.
No. I think that they want to leave that out there.
Bullshit
With Alicia because Alicia only shares her name with Sunshine Dobbs. Right at the beginning, we get her name, and then nobody else knows her name. But
no, that's not true. The fucking Harold knows it. The elders know it.
He never calls her Alicia, but nobody else. Like she shares her name. Very intimate. When you share your name, especially when you share it with no one else with this person.
I don't share with you, motherfuckers.
There's some sort of something going on there that through the naming.
All right,
moving along. Tromac.
I did think this court. I know they're going to have him for a while. He will die soon, hopefully horribly. I thought they could have done a better job with this character, unfortunately. And it's not that I dislike him, like I have a disdain for him. I just haven't disliked how they developed this character. So I really just can't wait till he dies. Maybe a Dangier will eat him and then choke on it, and they'll get rid of both at the same time. All right. Then a guy we've seen before.
Tromac.
Yep. Tromac showed up in the Adventures comics.
Yep.
And he is also part of this.
He's a kid in this book. He's one of the young children that Marta looks after. Are
we to believe, again, I haven't gotten far enough in the story probably to know the answer to this question yet, but are we to believe that his weird faction at the beginning of the comic is like a splinter from this? Because it seems like it's the opposite, where they hate the Force and they don't want anybody to use it.
We're gonna get into it later, but it is. It's the same group.
But we are supposed to assume that they are a branch at some point, and so absolutely, it's very well connected.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're saying. Like when we see what happens in 3-4 for the High Republic series, we'll link it up later on to the Adventures book. For those people who are members, they've already gotten that portion of it, so they probably can piece it together themselves. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a link.
But that's one of the coolest thing about this book is like it ties so much together for the High Republic Phase 2. in one book from phase 1 into
To phase 1. Yeah.
one book in phase 2. So it's awesome.
It does. Including comics and everything else. It's really cool. All right. We got the Grand Leveler back.
Grand
We figured
Leveler
something
is a
out.
big part of this. I don't want to get into too much about it because we'll get into maybe the plot later. But we do find out that the Grand Leveler comes from this unknown planet in wild space that only Sunshine Dobbs knows how to get to.
What do they call him in this book?
What?
I don't think I've got to this part yet. What do they call him in this book?
This is a.
Do they call him the Great Leveler? Though I'm just
No,
Not great because he's the first one.
He's the first one, but we know he hatches from what we thought was a Force jewel that for the part you have where like Alicia's rubbing that jewel and like protecting from the jewel. It wasn't a jewel. It was
egg.
The Great Leveler's egg.
Yeah.
And
they did a real good job.
He knows
at that.
immediately what this creature is and that egg is special.
It was, dude, the whole, that portion, I was like, holy fuck. Like, they did such a good job with it. Because I was like, wait a minute. Because it doesn't present like the Grand Leveler. And they don't refer to it as the Great.
Well, I was just curious because it seems like Great Leveler is just something that Roe created.
So
the
name, right?
Leveler, it's not. No, okay, yeah.
No.
Okay.
So what we know, right? And so we're going to get
Nameless is
speculation
something
later.
Yeah.
Is that this is me speculating. At some point, the Path of the Open Hand is going to turn their back and say this Great Leveler thing is dangerous.
I think we know who is going to do that and put it in ice.
And then they're going to trap this Great Leveler right here in the ice on that ice planet of Raytheon or Rhydon or whatever that planet is. And then later on, Roe's going to go and free this one
because I think it's one of
that is freed. What?
Yes, he's also get the rod, so he's got the directions to get to the planet, so they can get more.
Yeah, I was saying that. Never mind. I was just saying the name Leveler sounds like it would be something that I can use against the Jedi. Therefore, it's called the Leveler.
That's what they. That's what they. I think that's what the mother
to it as a leveler in this novel, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's
they
what
do.
they
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And it's just called the Great because it's the first. It comes out as a baby and it starts to grow while it's there.
It's so cool.
It's so cool how they do it. It is so cool how they do it. But yeah, I believe it's a Roe that puts it in ice. And gets the location from Son Dobbs, and that we see that we read some of that in a novel. We didn't know what we were reading, and now they've gone back to it. Saw it kind of in the comics too.
I don't know. Never trust a person that's holding flowers in their concept art.
I don't know which one it is, but I assume that. I mean, that's what I'm under. Like, is Jedi? Is that where you're at too? You think that this was a Roe? I mean, because you could kind of tell, but yeah, it's the Leveler may not be the greatest. The Nameless isn't the right thing, right? The Nameless was maybe because they didn't know how the Leveler got its name. They called it the Nameless. They might be changing the Nameless as the species coming up here soon to the Levelers, and then this is just going to be the Great Leveler.
Well, I just think isn't it probably one faction calling it one thing and another faction calling it another? Like, wouldn't it be just the Jedi calling it the Nameless and the Path of the Open Hand calling it the Leveler?
Could be. I mean, how it was introduced to them was as the Leveler from, I think even Sunshine called it that, and then the mother did too. So, I mean, and yeah, it's because it's a corny name. It's because it levels the playing field. But like, yeah, I mean, the name's corny, but how they did it was really cool.
Nameless sounds much better. I don't see them changing it just because Nameless sounds much better. Leveler sounds kind of weird, stupid.
Well, some of the names with Star Wars aren't always.
Also, too, in the lore, they introduced it as the Nameless, so you'd have to go track back in Jedi lore and change a lot of crap.
Well, they just did. I mean, they did at the end of this book because they already did. But it's all right.
I'm just going to roll through these real quick. These are the characters. They might be relevant. So if you're not reading the book, but you want to know who they are. Kor Pluth is Yana's girlfriend. And Kor's also the Herald's daughter. Opari is Kor's mother. Opari is got some sort of terminal illness that only the mother can heal, and that's kind of how the Herald comes over to her side. So that's why she's important. Trees is one of the children that goes and liberates the Force artifacts. He's a wild card. Likes to kill people. Likes violence. Just is an outlier in that community.
So he's one of the they call it the children. the children, as Wayseeker was saying before, was a group that they went out to go hunt those artifacts. But he's got like a kid in town with somebody. He also doesn't believe much in the way of the true believers, you say, with the path people. Not to get too much away, I guess.
But and these children that are liberating it, they're getting money on the side. Like mother's paying them to do it, and so
they steal the money too. Yeah, they take a cut.
Yeah, they get a cut of the finder's fee, and so they don't believe in it, but they're making good money. Sanchar Rold is the founder of the Path of the Open Hand. Sanchar's the one who broke away from the Guardian of the Wills 100 years before. So we don't know much about that story. I don't know if we ever will. The only other Jedi in this book is Jedi Aslan Rel, and he only appears at the very beginning and the very end. Doesn't play a very important part.
I thought you'd be excited about that one because he seems kind of like a Wayseeker himself.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they develop that character. I think they will, given the fact that when we talk about what happens to everybody else. And then the other ones I just included because they're Santecas and Grafs. Alonzo Santeca and the Grafs are both prospecting. They're at the beginning of the family chase for getting out into the outer rim and the wild space and doing all the hyperspace lanes. So
I think we could spoil this part. One of them, like Santeca, dies.
Santeca dies. Yep. And the Grafs, we get introduced to them. They are supposed to own some really cool Force artifact called Jedi Tears, supposedly. Which, I don't know if we're supposed to believe that or not, but that's part of the story.
Jedi, go ahead.
Whose compound were they going to break into? That was the Grafs, right?
Yeah, Grafs. Mm-hmm.
See, I was thinking, and it didn't turn out to be
the
case,
good too.
I guess. Because, I guess it didn't turn out to be the case because I guess it was a setup or something.
It was,
recall. But I thought that they were going in there to steal that old lady. Wasn't she a Graf or was she a Santeca?
She was a Santeca. Mary Santeca.
Yep. Okay. Which I assume we're going to get to that part 2 later.
Maybe.
Throughout this because it would be around this time. The Grafs compound was good. As you could say, it was a setup. I don't know how we can spoil the book because nobody else is going to read it, right?
Right. And so I don't know if we just want to talk about. These are the locations. We don't need to talk about the jet. I don't know if we want to just talk about the plot here a little bit before we get into that.
Yeah, go ahead. That's fine.
Jedi, you want to talk about anything from the plot?
Nope.
You really didn't like it, huh? Or you just ignored it?
I honestly don't remember. Because I know Wayseeker will do a better job. That's why.
Okay.
Because when I was listening to it, like I said, I was trying to get through it, so I kind of know. I'm learning a lot about the book, putting a lot of things together from listening to Wayseeker talk just now that I didn't put together as I was going through the book because I was giving it like 50% of my attention, to be honest.
Yeah. So, why this book starts and how it really goes. The 2 Jedi go to Dalna for a reason, right? A Force artifact, the Rod of Seasons. I think it was the Rod of Seasons. There's a bunch of rods.
Yeah, it's Rod of Seasons.
From very important people that want it back, and so all the leads point to Dalna, which was really weird. And so they send 2 Jedis there to try to figure out why and how the Rod of Seasons got stolen. And they want to recover the Rod of Seasons.
So how that worked out really quickly is the 2 Jedis were already out there in outer space, kind of just being like door knockers, right? They were knocking on planets' doors saying, hey, we're the Jedi. You may have heard of us. You may not have heard of us before. We're trying to expand the galaxy.
You want to buy a copy of the Jedi Watchtower?
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. And they were just kind of checking it out, but they were also keeping scribes of kind of like what the activities on the planet was, if there could be a threat or if not. When they went to talk to these people, they had been hearing lately a group called The Path, and they found it very odd that The Path had shown up and then gone someplace, but nobody could really account for them. So that's why they were going to Dalna, because they knew that's where the compound for The Path was.
Mm-hmm. So they go to Dalna, and the city that they're in is the city called Ferrodin. So pretty much all the major parts of the book take place at either of these 2 locations. The city, it's a small city, which we've never seen before on Dalna, and also the compound, which is just outside the city. And the people in the city, for the most part, they don't like the path very much. They're weird. They're, they come in, they sell some stuff, but
They don't sell anything. They give it away.
What?
They give it away. They don't sell it.
Oh, they give away the flowers. All that.
Yeah, because they're not allowed to sell
the market. Yeah,
according to their things. They have to give it away.
And they're kind of skeptical of this group. And so, I mean, a lot of the early pages of this book is the Jedi just trying to form a relationship between them and the Path of the Open Hand. And most of that relationship building comes from Kevmo and Marta.
Yep, and he does it by freaking out because they are all in this market. So now there's supposed to be some benefactor that they don't really get into that does have a little sympathy to their way of freeing the Force from stuff. They do this thing where they say a gift is always given, so they try to give cheap trinkets like flowers and everything else out. One of the flowers falls after Kevum is Kevum? Is that how you say it? Kevmo is flirting with the Ro. She's kind of the leader of all these little kiddies. She wants a bigger part, but she's not going to get it. And she sees him use the Force just to hold up the flower, and she freaks the fuck out. Like, it's the worst thing ever. Like, the worst thing ever. She screams, she yells, she closes it down, goes, kids, go throw these flowers around. And now the market does not dislike them because they're not competition for the market, and they apparently give them people flowers. So, and plus they're kids, so they're kind of cute. So so Tomac is out there throwing flowers around at people for the gist of that portion of it.
Yeah, this is the first time Marta's ever seen somebody use the Force, because you can't use the Force. Anybody's using the Force, and then you think about using the Force for something like flirting. It just drove her. Yeah.
So this is what they believe. The Path believes, or some of the Path, the true believers in the Path believe that if you use the Force for any reason, even if it's for a good reason, that you are draining the Force out of someplace else. So if you use the Force to help save a life, somebody someplace else in another part of the galaxy dies. The Force would have kept that person alive and it dies. Very interesting concept. Like not the first time we've ever heard the, butterfly effect type concept going on, but it was interesting how they implemented it. I thought they did a very good job of that.
Yeah.
Jedi, do you not agree with this part of it, or are we just refreshing you on it?
No, I'm with you. Well, yeah, but I'm tracking. I remember this. Basically, she doesn't. Yeah, what you said. I don't want to rehash it. She doesn't like
very good.
using the Force.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so, as it becomes clear over time, especially Yana realizes the Jedi are there and they're a big deal. That's a threat. Yana's freaking out because she knows they're stealing these artifacts and doing all this shady stuff for Mom. And the Jedi are going to figure it out because the Jedi can figure shit out by knowing the Force. So she's saying, we got to do something about this. Marta's not worried about it because she doesn't think they're doing anything wrong. They're perfect. They're great in all ways. There's no reason to worry. Yana knows this is a big deal. And so basically, Mother and Yana trick Marta to forming a relationship with Kevmo and showing that there's nothing wrong, because they know, if there's somebody that's going to be able to trick them and believes it's Marta. So use the innocent person to try to say that the Path of the Open Hand is innocent and good. Yep. And so ultimately through that relationship, they get Marta to invite Kevmo and his master to come for a site visit.
It was very interesting how they did it too, because they've throughout history, and I hate to do this because somebody's going to criticize me on how I'm saying it, but I'm talking in a historical, semi-fictional way. But the Southern preacher, it was a lot of Southern preacher with the carpetbaggers coming in type interaction there that they were using her. They were using her instead of her freaking out. Then they had sold her on the point. Well, you're so good with the giving of the gifts and the conversion and teaching the children that you can now go out there and you will convert this Jedi. You will convert him. And then the mother hid the whole time. The Jedi never actually get to meet the mother. So,
yeah. So they do the site visit. And as Marco says, the Jedi get to meet everybody. They can't go down in the tunnels. At the path, there's this open layer. And then underneath there are these cave tunnels that are color coded only for special people, depending on what color you have. Jedi are not allowed down there. That's kind of where Mother's shenanigans are going on there, but everything up top is above board. But the Jedi know, like, Mother doesn't come out. There's some shady stuff going on there. They don't trust the path of the open hand. So yeah, Marco, what happens next?
Should I go through more slides, or I was just showing everybody so you can tell who they're talking about.
I think most of the stuff is just other stuff that we can talk about after we kind of go through.
Oh shit, yeah. Oh wow, there's a lot. Okay, go ahead. So what's your next point?
Go take it from there. What happens?
Okay, so after that, so they go through the Jedi, they go back and forth. Then some rain starts happening. I thought it was very clever in there where they're like, hey, one day they will figure out when they get technology that they don't have to like pray to the gods or do whatever. They'll actually figure out how weather works. I thought that was cool how they added in that little detail and didn't drown on top about it. Then it started getting a little bit more in the one sister, the one Rose sister, the one that's part of the children. She pretty much is like, hey, listen, I want to get out. And her girlfriend have always been talking about it. The daughter of the what's his name? Not preacher. What
Worth, the Herald.
Yeah, Worth. Yeah. The Herald had always been talking about it, but she was really putting it into action at this part. She was making side deals with the mother, and the mother's like, hey, we're gonna send you to steal one last artifact. You'll get your payout and you can leave. The other part, though, the Jedi apprentice, the Padawan, decided to start opening. It kind of reversed in a different effect than was supposed to happen to Marta, right? Marta Rowe, the other more strict sister. The Padawan here, Kavmo starts talking to her about a place called Jihad, or was it
Jeddah?
Jeddah? Yeah, Jeddah. Thank you. Yeah, Jeddah starts talking about how the person that started their group was actually an ex-Wills member, but they have a council out there that have got all these different groups together, and they actually sit there, and even though they debate, and he compliments her now, not on her looks, but on her debating ability, he really is figuring out how to kind of open her mind to it, which I thought was interesting because usually I thought this book was going to take the googly eye going back and forth relationship that Ireland typically does, and instead it went, no, he's not actually falling for her. He technically goes back and talks to his master and says, hey, listen, there's been a little bit too much flirting going on here, but I'm in a good spot. The master checks out, says, okay, cool. Hey, maybe the debating part is what you need to go for instead of your, oh, I'll just give you compliments and whistle at you really quickly and smack you on the butt, and then you'll be on my side. Maybe go after her mind a little bit. I mean, it wasn't scheming, but it was just a way to open her up because he felt for her as a human being and felt that she was being maybe misled and not guided so well, but she also had very valid points. And though he didn't agree with the sucking of the force out of one area in another one, he did actually think that adding that intellectual argument to the panel would have been really good. And it actually kind of worked. That really stuck with her throughout it. It was interesting to hear about this. I know they talked about the Sorcerers of Thund. I don't think we're going to get in the Church of the Force, but they kind of mock the Church of the Force and the Sorcerers. It seemed like all these seem like minor things, excluding the Wills and the Jedi when we get down to it.
Yeah, we know from leak stuff from the comic that Sorcerers of the Thund are showing up this week in the High Republic comic.
Right. Well, a throwback to it. Yeah, we'll see.
But I mean, the Sorcerer of the Thund, I wish JJ was around because JJ knows the Legends portion of Sorcerers of the Thund probably better than any of us here. But they've been around since the early 80s in Legends, featured in quite a few Legend books. And so it's cool to see them really trying to maybe bring them back into canon. They've been mentioned. They were mentioned in Dooku Lost very briefly, but
very briefly. Yeah, I think that's kind of how it's going to go. In my opinion, I think they're going to keep just doing that little drops with it. I don't think we're going to get so in depth in it. I think it'd be too much. I think they're going to give us more on the Wills because they pretty much have promised that, and then we'll go from there. There was, so when they're talking about what did you think about
Let's come back to this. Let's finish.
Okay.
Let's finish what's going on.
Okay.
So they have these rains that Marco was talking about. This massive flood happens right in the Path compound. And what that causes is one room where it has 5 little baby children that Marta's taken over with. They get trapped in this flooded area. And so everybody else is just saying they're gone, they're done. And Marta's like, no, I'm a protector of these kids. We believe in the Force. The Force will provide. I'm going in there. I'm risking everything. And so it's really an eye-opening scene about how most of the path really don't believe, but Marta does. And so Kevmo goes with her, and ultimately Kevmo has to use the Force to save those 5 little kids' lives. And it makes Marta really question,
Almost, yeah.
is the Force okay? And she begins to question,
nodded.
Can you use it to save lives? Is there a place for the Force sometimes to be used? And the path and the mother's like, well, 5 other people died because.
Well, this is okay. So this is where I'll give Ireland a little bit of credit on it. That inner monologue of I wondered if he saw my nod. It was 1000% Ireland. Jay's not here to debate me or put an asterisk next to me. And it actually kind of worked in that moment. But you're right. As soon as she got out, then she questioned the mother, which is the wrong person to question. And the mother said, no, your job is to teach children. And by the way, you can't go with the little kids. You can't go with the children on their special last path. And yeah, by the way, you know what? I know this because I can see things, which she fucking couldn't see the flood, but she somehow saw this. And it killed 5 other people down the floor. Like, the mother doesn't see a lot of shit. For somebody who's supposed to be
mother doesn't have a clue about any of that stuff. No.
Yeah.
She's not. She has some Force things, but she doesn't see the future.
She knows where to steal artifacts from. She sure as shit don't know, like, because it was her home too that got flooded. And she let she let the new
her home didn't get flooded. They said that
part of
it was completely dry, that part. Which was fascinating. I don't know what that meant.
Are you talking about the cabin dry or the tomb area?
I thought her cabin and tomb area would both dry.
Right, it was dry, wasn't it? That was interesting too. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't
because they sealed it because it's sealed. That's why that portion's sealed down there. Yeah,
but maybe she did know, and I don't know. Whatever.
So
Kevmo saves the day, but while Kevmo is there, he realizes that there's these caverns that are down below, and there's color coded, and they all have special meanings. So he's like, I went somewhere where I was supposed to go to save people's lives, and now I know that the artifacts, I could feel them. They're dark. They're down here. So, Master, we need to go. We need to figure out how to get these artifacts because what we're looking for is here. It's going to break Marta's heart. But we got to do what we got to do. So there wasn't like any what should I do? Should I help Marta? Should I do it Force? No, he's like, no, we got to do what the Force says. We got to do what's right.
That is a typical spot. Yeah. That's that's why I was surprised with Jedi because I figured that's a typical spot where Ireland would stop the story and break off into some just nonsensical hey, the world's coming to the end. We gotta save him. But wait, I saw this light shine on an earlobe of a animal, and that's where she breaks off into that dumb shit. And it didn't happen. It was he's like, hey, listen, we gotta go back there. The seasons isn't a Dark Force thing. But he was explaining it, and he goes, I don't know that it's a Dark Force thing, but I've never felt this. But there was a sensation a lot. Cool how they explained it. Cool how they did it. And then all of a sudden, his master, she's like, yeah, dude, let's go. We got to go. And we got to go now.
We got to go now. And so while this is happening, though, this is the only diversion of the story. The children go off-world. The 3.
The guys, people that steal.
Yana, the crazy one, and the girlfriend, Core. They go off world and they go to the Graf compound, this frozen ice compound with Sunshine Dobbs, because Sunshine has a direct route there to steal the Jedi tears, supposedly.
And by the way, there's 2 little tidbits that we should add there. One, the Jedi and the apprentice have heard that they were leaving for that job, so they know they're going to go steal another artifact. And 2, none of the ships can get out that are in the port, which is almost every single ship, so they have to use Sunshine at this point.
Yep. Well, and they want to use Sunshine because they need somebody to fly the ship back.
Yeah.
Because they're getting set up.
So they go, they go into the Graf compound, and
so they go into this compound. They think everything's gonna. Yana's like, this is over our heads. I don't think we can do this. But they're like, no, we can do it. We can do it. We got this. Ultimately, Sunshine tells the Grafs that, hey, these kids are coming to steal this thing. Be prepared. We're setting them up. take them out for us. Kill these kids.
Okay, so can I ask you and Jedi a question? Going into the compound, did you think they were gonna? Do you think it was a setup to kill Ro and not the other two?
No.
You felt like they weren't trying to. You felt the whole interaction back and forth with the mother, the little talk with the Herald and all that. See, because going into that, I don't know how Jedi felt, but going into that, I was like, oh shit, they're gonna kill off Ro. Like she's done. Like this is a setup to kill her because they're not gonna let her leave because they're like, only one person ever has left the path before, and we've never heard from her again. And I was like, oh shit, they're going to kill her. Like I thought Sunshine, after they steal the artifact, would throw her out the airlock or some terrible accident would happen. Not quite what happened, but like would have happened. What's going on, Kyle? You didn't feel that, Jedi? Did you feel that all going in there?
Marco, you can just stop asking me these questions.
Very good. Okay.
There's a certain point of the story where I actually started like getting interesting, and we have not got there yet. So.
This is like the last. We're like the last third of the book.
This was interesting. So either way, they go in there. They find out that Ro goes to do the slicing. All of a sudden, he hears screaming. He goes, kills somebody. She breaks. I keep calling her because it was I shouldn't do that. It was a very athletic, male presenting character. Anyways, that character went through and just broke somebody's neck. I mean, that character's fucked. Broke somebody's neck, like just stabbed somebody, grabbed something, shot somebody, did everything. In the meantime, her girlfriend was injured. And
Core was injured, yeah.
Core was injured. She tries to carry Core off, calls for Tezza, and then fucking A, man. Like all of a sudden it turns to like a spike going through Tezza's throat from the back, and like the guy on the ground fucking just like launched. It was fucked. It was good though. I mean, great fight scene. It was very descriptive. Blood everywhere. Like good job. Very good job on it.
And you get to see Yano's brutal. Like those claws and those teeth.
Yeah.
Like Everini are no one to mess with. And we didn't really get a good sense of like that from Ro, because Ro always had the mask on and always was covered up. Like it was brutal. They're like reptile creatures that like
we got like got the Game of Thrones backstabbing stuff from what we had before, but their species is just like they'll eat out your they'll just eat your neck out. They'll do whatever. Then she starts. My bad. She starts shooting dead people already and stuff. I mean, it's crazy, but the planet's frozen. So she tries to get her girlfriend Core back with her. Trez is pretty much dead, but Core eventually gets eaten by a ice whale. So that's something.
So this is a question.
I don't remember any of this.
So good, Jedi. This scene was awesome. It was really
I guess I gotta go back and re-listen to this.
You got it. She gets eaten by an underwater ice sea whale.
Core had to die.
Yeah,
Core had to die. The mother had to have Core die, which was a really risky piece because it's the Herald's daughter. But the one thing we know about Core is Force sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And what do the Nameless do?
Oh shit! I didn't even get that because it would have sucked it out.
She could feel it. She's like, this jewel is hungry. Like she realizes there's something wrong with the jewel, that the egg that
she kept saying stuff about it. Yeah, throughout the whole time.
It's hungry. It's hungry. There's something wrong with it. I feel like it wants to eat, right? And nobody else could feel it because it wanted to eat her.
Okay, and the mother knew it. You're saying that Core had to die because of what's coming.
Because the leveler was coming out in the compound.
But later, and I was going to bring this up when we got to it, but later, if the mother is Force sensitive, which I believe you said she is, why didn't the leveler?
We'll talk about what happens to her, but she turns into a mummy state for a little bit too. Like they noticed what happened to her hair.
Yeah,
but anyway, so Core would have been killed by the leveler,
and then the Herald would have known, and the Herald does not like the mother anyway, so they
Core had to die because if not, the leveler scheme would have been all bad.
I didn't even think about that. So that's why you thought, okay. So that's why
all three of those characters had to die. And so I think the set was for them to die no matter what.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, yeah, I'd see that. Now I knew it was for all of them to go.
And the other one was going to leave too because he had a kid in the town and all the
Yeah.
rest of that nonsense, and he didn't believe either.
But
either
the connection between her being force sensitive and feeling that was really cool. I really love that payoff. Very subtle but awesome.
The dagger is what they felt down in the basement, right?
That's what she felt in the basement the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the dagger of the rooms of Bruh.
Yeah.
The
so
rod
we'll
is
talk about this too. So the last piece there. So they go and liberate. They go try to liberate. Right.
Oh, Jedi, JJ, you're coming back for the end. We're just at the end. Okay.
They come back to liberate the Rod of
Getting good,
Seasons.
JJ. Getting good.
You know, this is the picture of it. We see Rod of Seasons for the first time in comic and Eye of Storm 2. Marcia Monroe puts it back together. So they're going to liberate this thing. And while they're there, Yana comes back from her mission and just wants to kill the mother because she realizes that the mother set him up, and she survives. And so her goal is to kill the mother. And so everybody's going at this compound at the exact same time to do two different things. And they kind of get there at the same moment. And what's really cool is when they get there.
Well, hold on. Can we say so? She gets stopped. She gets stopped by her sister, and her sister makes her take a pause. In the meantime, the sister also says, "You have to go tell the Herald." Well, the Herald and Yanda do not get along. Like he doesn't really. He respects how she treats his daughter, but he also doesn't like her. And she kind of breaks it to him that like this is what happened. She's dead. She's not coming back, and it was a setup. And you didn't know where it was going to go from there until because the Jedi are there. They're in the tunnels at the time too, and they go after the mother, and they do have the rod, right?
They get the rod, or it's in the room with them, and the mother comes in, right?
That's the part that I didn't understand. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
They just go to the rod, and they get into that room, and right behind them comes Mother and the Herald, and Yana shows up, and she unleashes the egg.
The egg hatches. It just hatches
because it's hungry, and it senses the Jedi. So the egg hatches. It's this itty bitty creature. Too. And ultimately,
it goes after the master first.
Described it as like a blob, right?
Yeah,
or something like that.
Almost.
Yeah,
and then they call it the cat later. But yeah, so it goes after the master. It turns the master to stone, like instantaneously. Then starts going towards Kevmo.
And so Kevmo, he realizes like this isn't right.
Yeah,
he just books it as far as he can, but like. This thing is still hungry because it's a little kid. Like I think it has like a gestation period and waiting period, like in the later books, where like once it eats, it needs to rest. But like this thing's hatched, it's hungry. It tracks down Kevmo as Kevmo runs away.
No, didn't it wrap around the leg while he was
running away?
I'm sorry, didn't it? I thought it already hit Kevmo there. I thought he wrapped around the leg and got Kevmo there.
Maybe it did. That was hard.
And then he started running away as he was turning. Yeah, because it wasn't a full thing. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So he gets to Marta, right?
Yeah.
Right as he's about to perish. It did touch him. I didn't know if it was like latched onto him or whatever.
It that was left in the air, but I think it was implied that it did touch him. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. He gets to Marta, and Marta just sees like he's in pain. He can't do anything. He's starting to fade and calcify right before her eyes, and she's furious because she loves him.
She kissed him like 3 times, and he told her like, "I'm sorry, this is not for me. Like this is not what I do." And she still has in the back of her mind one day she's going to convert him, and then they're going to get married. And his is, I'm going to convert her. No way in shit we're getting married. I hope the best for her. Like that is their relationship, by the way.
So ultimately Kevmo dies in her arms, and just calcifies. And she's furious. And so now you have Yana who's furious at Mother, and Marta's who's furious with Mother, because it didn't feel like it needed to happen, and everything.
And the Herald is too, apparently.
Herald's
supposedly
furious at Mother. Everybody's furious at Mother, and so everybody.
But they've all witnessed this, except for what's her name. So the Herald and Yana have come there, and they witnessed the Jedi turn to stone from this creature. Yonda picks up the staff. This is what I didn't understand about the rod. If it seemed like the Jedi had the rod, so the rod controls the leveler, right? And the Jedi had the rod, it thought.
I don't think they had it in their hands, though. I just think they were in the room with it. Yeah.
Okay, so this plays a big important role because you think that the Herald and the sister are now going to kill the mother, but instead the leveler comes to Yonda that looks like it's going to attack her, but it stops and like bows down and gives like the meh meh or whatever it noise it makes. Purrs.
So the leveler was attracted to Marta holding the rod because it controls the leveler. I was thinking that he was just attracted to it because it was a force sensitive or it was a force object. But no,
this is how you control it.
Than that.
This is
this is why it's so important later in the comics that Marchion Ro has to find the pieces of the rod, right? Because he knows if he's going to unleash the leveler later on, he's got to find the two pieces that are broken up at some point by the path.
And there is another rod. Is it the Daybreak or the Ages one? I think all three rods could technically control it. They kind of hinted that it could happen. So
we just don't know for sure, but we
just don't know for sure because the mother then says that she tries to put Sunshine in charge of going out and getting one of those. But yeah, so then he has it behind the back, and the Herald, before the mother can speak up, goes, listen, this thing, the thing that's going to level our battle against these force-abusing people, the Jedi, our friend here, Yonda, she controls it. It shows respect. That's the Force saying that they respect her. That's a true leader out of us, blah, 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 blah. Yonda catches on that it's all a setup to one day go and kill the mother.
So Yana had it, not Martha.
Okay. Yeah, Yana had it. Yep.
In the meantime, Martha comes down to go with her vengeance and fury against the mother. And the mother then sweet talks her and says, no, the reason why your future baby daddy died was not because of what I did, but because he had saved those lives, and a life has to die for the life of the Force. In the meantime, she still wants to go to Jeddah. She still wants to go to Jeddah, and she wants to take her sister with her. So what else do we got on that way, Seeker? I know I'm missing something.
And I think that's the main thing. We skipped over a few things that are important. One of which is the mother's building a ship. The ship is called the Gaze Electric, so we know that ship. So she is the builder of the ship, which we know later becomes Marchion Ro's family ship. And so we see the beginnings of it. It comes from Alicia's actions. And so they take the ship at the end of the book. They leave Jeddah and they're going they leave Dalma and they go to Jeddah.
Are they
so we see the beginnings of that?
Are they fleeing that planet because they know the Jedi are going to come now? Or because the people are upset because of the flood, or both? Or
no, so how I understand it is they're playing three sides with it. The mother can't say anything because she'll expose herself. She definitely doesn't want to go there. She actually wants to find but she thinks that the Daybreaker rod might be there, or the Age, one of the two, right? But so she's thinking maybe we can go there and steal it, so she'll do it because of that. The other half, the Herald, wants to do it because they want to get off because her and Yonda are freaking out about the Jedi. They think they're going to come back and completely, even with this, even with the leveler, that's only one leveler versus a shit ton of Jedi. There's no way this thing can stand up to it. The Jedi will kill that and then kill us. And then
Marta, their plan with electric or
yes, the mother. The mother.
No, well, what's the name of the ship?
Great Electric, whatever.
The Gaze Electric.
Gaze Electric, because they're accelerating their plan. Yes, the ship is not 100% ready.
Right. So the mother probably doesn't want to leave, but she's going to because of those two parts. One, she can't say anything about it. Then the reason, okay, we can kind of maybe do it because she would have just sent Sunshine by herself. And Sunshine, by the way, starts driving that pilots that plane, but she doesn't want everybody going there. But worst case scenario, she can't expose herself of being whatever she is, and she can try to get this rod.
And the third one is Marta Rowe, who is like going there because she thinks she can get on the council. So
Yeah.
it's a very interesting dynamic going on the ship. Everybody has a different reason for doing it.
Yeah, and the leveler's a baby still, like it growing in size with each one it kills, but it's not strong enough to take on the Jedi yet. So like, it might kill one or two, but it's still a baby. So each time it kills or takes the Force from the Jedi, it gets bigger. And she said this could take 100 years for it to get to full size. That's one thing it said. So like that, which is why I think it takes a while, and that is why we see the exact same one that is freed. So
you're right. She did mention too she's going to send Sunshine to the planet to get more leveler stones. So
yep.
What's with the Tear of the Jedi question? Oh, because we don't know if it's real or not.
Yeah, is it real or not? We just don't know. Was it a setup or not?
JJ, can you tell us more of the Tund sorcerers of the Tund from the legacy aspect of it?
Oh, like legends, you mean?
Yeah. What did I say?
They were basically, so I think if memory serves, they were originally like original Sith, like Sith the race, not Sith the people.
Yep.
Or the faction or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And they were like exiled and they eventually found Tund and basically took Tund as their planet. And hence the name. But they still retained all their force powers. They used dark side force powers.
Right.
And usually they were the, like, when you hear like corrupted by the dark side of the force, that was them. Like usually they went insane, like quite literally. And they were pretty much like, they were usually the Jedi for like 1,000 years or something like that. Like try to like observe them and even like turn a lot of them and stuff. And, you know, they didn't really have much success. And then eventually like they existed all the way up until like the Clone Wars era. And the Jedi had pretty much given up trying to convert them, and Palpatine caught on to who they were. And there was one, like, if I can't remember his name, but there was one like really shifty, shady member that came on like in the Clone War era, and he basically killed them off. And he ends up giving Palpatine a bunch of their secrets like, during the Clone War era and their techniques and stuff. And that guy actually gets killed off, I think, by Lando, like at the end in some like in a book or a novel or something. I think I remember.
He does. Yep. I think though, I don't know if they're going to go. I think they might tell the history as being that dark, but I don't think how they explain the council. It doesn't seem like the council member is going to be. It doesn't. How do you say this way, Seeker? You see what I'm saying? Like they didn't. Right. Yeah. It seems like the
dark side. They might.
Yeah.
I think they might. They all have different understandings of what it means to use the Force.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I
mean, they might dabble using the dark side a certain way, but they're not really.
I think they do.
They're not going to be like they were in the Legend stuff.
Yeah.
You wanted this slide in here, so I'm not sure why you wanted this.
It always remind me of who was the Jedi Master in Heir of the Empire that went like crazy. Was it Booth? I think. Something.
Huh?
You know what I'm thinking of? Like the guy that
you're talking about, I don't remember the name.
The old guy?
Yeah.
The one, was it the clone?
Yeah. That's kind of like, that's like the Jedi version of the Sorcerers of Dune.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Why is Master and Apprentice in this? Who asked for this?
You did.
I didn't.
You asked for slides, and you said you wanted the slide of the species, and you wanted a slide
of the Master and the Apprentice of the two Jedis that you already gave us. Not the
I just put this in there because you asked for Master and Apprentice. So I'm like, okay,
I think I was maybe 100 pages in at the time. All right.
we don't have to go. We're long here.
Yeah.
But I think the first question is the one that we've kind of hinted at.
Yeah.
Who is Alicia really? Is she a Sith? I think she is a dark side Force user. Because Yana talks about the fact that when the leveler comes, her hair, like this person doesn't age. Like she doesn't age. She always looks beautiful. But when the leveler comes, her hair turns gray.
Yeah, that was something. And she was weaker. Like, she was really weak.
You know? So she calcified. Maybe not fully. Maybe, they didn't latch onto it. But it did take the Force from her and changed her hair.
See, I thought it was draining energy from her. I'm sorry, Ruben. We'll go. I thought it was draining energy for hatching it, and because she also was very weak. But it did what you say makes a lot of sense too. Go ahead, Ruben. Oh, I thought you were saying okay.
No, that was me. I said, didn't that kind of happen to Bell's second master? I can't remember the name all of a sudden. Like when she
That
went like
was a great-
comatose and she kind of
Oh, yeah.
like
Yep.
she got all that.
calcified or something like that.
Nib. Was that Nib?
Nib.
No, Nib was the old lady,
No,
right?
Yeah, who's the other one? Oh, yeah, you're right. But yeah.
I can't think of her name, but I think the same thing kind of
The
happened to her.
Wayseeker, wasn't it?
I think that's why she
wasn't
needs
she a
to die.
Wayseeker?
No, that she died.
Orlin.
The way,
That was
That was-
Orlin.
yeah.
She died. Mhm.
I can't think
don't-
of her name. But
That's
yeah.
why she needs the rods. That is why she needs the rods, because it won't attack her. I absolutely think that.
Yeah, see, I don't. Yeah, maybe.
But I do
maybe.
think it was really fascinating that her hair changed and calcified, and it made a sense of like it took some life out of her too.
So,
yeah.
what's next for Marta Rowe? I have a feeling that she's the one that's going to break the staff in pieces and help Barry in the ice. That's why I think like 3 and 4 are going to be really important, because I think we're going to see her around that time, because we already had seen her cousin on the front, and they're going to have something.
You guys
to do
keep
with
talking about 3 and 4. What do you mean?
the High Republic comic book that's coming out.
Comic
Yep.
books. Okay.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, we're actually going to link all this stuff to comic books in a minute for those that stayed around. Provide your prediction for the
Longest
path
show
for
ever.
all 5 of you.
right. What is path for the open hand? Well, obviously, we're going to get into it. I already gave it to some of our exclusives, but we've seen what happens to some of the path of the open hand already. We talked about what happens to the row faction of it, what happens to the leveler faction of it, what happens to the rod faction of it, but we didn't actually talk to, like, because the path still exists in phase 1. Actually, to this point, it still exists till it's going to be in phase 3 too. Does the book change how you see Row? Did it change how you saw Row?
Yes. Yeah.
I got a question about this.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Because, well, Wayseeker had put in our chat that after reading this book, and you said it made you wonder if Martian, his intentions all along were to free the dengue.
The Dringer.
That's the
Dringer.
plant people, right? Or
Yeah,
plant
the little
things.
bullshit plant.
Okay.
fucking
What in this book made you think that?
Yeah, I
Larry
fucking.
did?
That's
So-
not.
So that's the first time we get introduced to this idea of force artifacts. And we know that these groups of people know about the force artifacts,
Well, the statues.
the statues. And so they have a deep knowledge of force artifacts, and specifically dark side force artifacts, because we have the Mordabath. And I wanted to go back to that one slide too in a little bit
Okay.
about the dagger, just to things. But they know force artifacts.
Mhm.
And they know how to free them, and they want to liberate them. And so and that's thing we have after the great disaster, the Nihil Nan pretends not to be Nihil. She's
Mhm.
putting out a plea, and that's why they come there. So it's almost like Martian Rowe led the Jedi to those force artifacts, knowing that they would liberate those force artifacts.
I think it was more along
That's
the lines
how-
of he used them as a weapon.
Yeah, to distract them and.
Yeah, because I think even he says that at one point. Like
Yeah.
he used them
I mean, I
basically to
guess-
just.
Yeah.
I think there's a strong likelihood here that he knew exactly where they were and how to unleash them.
Oh, I agree
They
on
have
that.
Such
Oh, yeah.
strong knowledge of force artifacts, and so I really make it feel like Martian is somehow Alicia's connect. There's a connection between Alicia and Martian, and I'll be interested to see if Alicia dies or if Alicia is not
Still alive.
dead. She's still around.
Alive or journals or something like that. Yeah. It'd be interesting. I just don't think. I mean, yeah, I can see what you're saying there. Like those characters, I don't think are that great. But yeah, I can see how there's a leak. Maybe you got a journal for her, maybe something else. Okay, that makes sense. Is this the greatest Star Wars book yet? No, but that's a short answer. But as far as the High Republic goes, and maybe it was because I did want to. I mean, I wasn't chanting for it to fail. I never chant for Star Wars stuff to fail. But maybe my expectations were so gutter low on this book. But even if they weren't, it gave so much. In the High Republic, I don't think there's been one book that has come out that has given this much like hard stuff in it, right? This much moving the storyline, this much stuff to make a difference in the storylines, this much interconnecting, just explaining stuff. I mean, each one had its great thing, but there were always parts in the books where we were like, yeah, I wish they would have gotten into this. I wish they would have gotten to that. I didn't have that with this book. With this book, I was like, wow, that was a lot. That was 7 courses. They gave it all. They rolled it out. The 8 course. The chef even threw an extra course in just for fun. You know what I mean? Like
they really gave it their all. This is if they continue to do books like this, I mean, it was a great book. It was a great book, and I do think it's one of the most. I think it's in the top 5, top 3 important books for High Republic, and will be at the end too. By the way, I think this is one that's going to stick around for a while. So I don't know what Wayseeker thinks about it. Apparently, Jedi has to go re-listen to it. So,
well, what I learned today is that I don't need to listen to any of them because I just wait for Wayseeker.
But we want you to converse with us.
For the review, the epically long
nice
review.
to have a third person to talk
need the review. But you're right. Yeah, I'm going to go back and listen to it again because apparently I missed some stuff. And it's either listen to it again or go finish that Thrawn book, and I don't really want to do that.
Oh, get out of here with that nonsense!
Wow.
Really quickly though, I guess
I want to go back to that. I want to give it some like crazy Dom level spec.
Okay.
So they find this dagger from Moraband's ruins, and Moraband's
where Cad Bane is, by the way. This is where Cad Bane. They're like at Cad Bane's or Darth Bane. They're at Cad Bane.
But it's
at
also it's from a ruins, so it's from the death. It's also where Nihilus died and was buried. Nihilus means hunger, and hunger was a key word in this book because that's where the leveler comes from. Are the Nihil named after Nihilus? And is there going to be a connection between Nihilus and what happens with some of these Force artifacts in Phase 2? So that is me speculating.
Wow.
That's that's a 7.
That's a Dom level.
That's a 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon Dom speculation.
Dom rumor.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
AJ's shaking his head. I don't know.
What was that?
Well, that was a connection like a lot of people made, like that speculative like kind of connection just when it first came out. It was Nihil to Nihilus. Like maybe Nihilus is like before people knew who Ro was and like the Ro's background and everything. That was like the connection. It was like, oh, Nihilus may be the forerunner to the Nihil. I don't know. It could just be a name coincidence too, and that like you said, it does mean hunger. So maybe they just drew the name.
And maybe the hell knows they run out of names in Star Wars anyway. They recite the names, so we don't
just change letters. Real quickly. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Well,
no, I didn't know where you were going next. I had a question because I remember seeing in one of Wayseeker's slides that he showed us in the pre-show where we had like a timeline of the books, and we'll
do that when we finish off New York Comic-Con, which we have to get to real quickly. Let me get through this real quickly. This book became a lot more important now too, because when we're asking, did it interlink? What happened to the path? This actually shows what it is. We actually get Tomac as an adult in this book. This is the path. Like this is what's happened to them.
Does it explain why they changed though? Because they're.
What do you mean?
Well, maybe I missed it in the review, but like, why do they all of a sudden ban the use of the Force?
No, they always have. They always have banned the use of the Force. They don't.
But I thought their goal was to free the Force or whatever.
It was that freeing the.
Force. I mean, they clearly used the Force in the first few chapters of the book.
Freeing the Force to them means that nobody actually uses it, which is there's different rules for the mother, but it means that nobody actually uses it because they think somebody will die in a different place that they do. They actually have them on the gaze here flying around. That's what this section is, and here it does speak about the elders for the first time as parents and the acolytes, which is a very interesting thing, because
weren't those two kids? They were both orphans, right?
Yeah, they're stolen orphans. Yep. That's how all the children of the path become. But Crix and Zine are the two that we're talking about in this. And my crazy Dom speculation on this, and I don't know how crazy it is they also use the word acolytes a ton to describe the children, not the children of the thing, but the children of the path, the ones that go out and do missions and do crazy stuff for that. And then they used it again in this book and lent it mainly towards the Zine character in the pink hair as being an acolyte already. The timeline fits up. I know somebody who is very popular in this channel thinks the acolyte somehow is Plagueis related. But I do think that this is giving us more of a streamlined version of that. Some of the path children may turn in. That might be because of the description of some of the novels when you get into what they had said before about it and all the overall description of what they were saying. A lot of this book uses very similar descriptions
for the children, which is the subgroup of the path. A lot of same verbiage, same words, just letting you know. But yeah, I mean, this is important, and this is where these characters are all going to, I mean, they've already showed up, and when people figure out what's in this book and that this is who they're talking about, because they will as stuff goes on. Darth
He called you on it. I was
Little
going to say the same thing. It does kind of sound a little bit like word salad.
It is the difference between word salad is saying like, oh, Plagueis because of P words. This is actually like they do refer to these characters,
But they also refer to
Can they go after
they
dark
refer
side?
to everybody young in the Sith Order as an acolyte too, though.
No, but the difference is like in the book, as he was saying, the children that go after dark side artifacts, and that's kind of what they supposedly, out of whatever rumors we've heard from everywhere, is that the TV series is based off of younger people going after dark side artifacts. That is technically in the book. The group
Is
is
that
called
what
the Acolyte.
that what they said it was based on?
Yeah, well, some of it was. Yeah.
I think you're confusing it halfway with Skeleton Crew.
Well, we'll get a bunch of it. Either way,
We'll find out more.
we'll find out more. There's a lot of it. When you read the books, if you read the books, you'll see through it. Either way, first time you get Glaze Electrics in here, which is stupid, but whatever. This is what happened to the paths. So we know that this whole series led us down to what happened to the path too. And we get grown up they, right? It's a grown up they.
And we find out in that book, like they broke the staff in two, the rod in
Oh
two.
yeah, the staff comes
And
shows
that's
up
why
in
Martian
episode 2
comes and he says
at the
the group
end.
broke off from us, right? This group, they left us, they broke off from us, and so that's why he comes in there. So we know that Ro belongs to the group that leaves the path at some time, that breaks off and starts the Nihil.
Yeah. So I mean, either way, that book was pretty irrelevant in the beginning, but it's got a lot. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of the stuff has got more flavor now that this book has linked up that Adventures comic book into it too, which is kind of cool. It's like I didn't think an Ireland book was going to do as much as it did for Star Wars, and it really did. I mean, it's done a lot.
And it also leaked in connectically with so it mentioned the Sorcerers of Tun, does it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you get a Sorcerer of Tun that also connects with Dooku Lost,
the new stuff,
Hogan's Vault, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Again, Callias Terradine, etc.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it linked into a lot of stuff. They gave it. There wasn't a lot of word salad in this book. They gave it a lot of meat and potatoes. So it was very good. All right, let's get into New York. Which one?
Let's zoom through this stuff.
Okay, cool. These are
Unfortunately,
the
I have to go.
All right, JJ, thank you.
I'll see y'all later. Thanks.
Right, Jedi hang around because he has dinner usually at this point. But all right, Star Wars Revelations. These are the covers for the Revelation book. All right, look at this. We got a 60,000-pound Muppet on top of Darth Vader's head. Wonderful.
Jedi's excited about the first cover there, right?
Actually, no, that's the just the remake of the original, the issue of Vader that had the opposite.
That's got to be Sabe, right?
That's about what?
Is it? I can't see. That's
With
too
lightsabers.
small
Sabe
for my
with
eyes,
lightsabers?
my old eyes.
Who else could it be?
It is. It's Sabe with
That's got to be
lightsabers.
Sabe with lightsabers,
nice.
Jedi.
No, the lightsaber's reflecting off of his thing. She's just
No,
got
it looks like it's in her hand to me. Maybe not. Maybe that's his hand. Yeah, you're right. That's his hand. So there you go.
Yeah, the bog thing, the webbish bog that's on the right, Dom. Originally, it was supposed to make the movies. They made like a 30,000 pound Muppet out. Like they own this in real life. They own that thing. We'll see.
The revelations about what's coming in the future. So it's not surprising that they're bringing that back in.
Yeah, they're bringing in the kid
the
thing.
little interior art above, from the comic.
There it is. So there we go. Some of the interior art that was cool. New revealed covers for Bounty Hunter 31. Apparently, we go back to. Wow, I still didn't know that. A lot of people thought that the comment's going to come up, but it's Valance. And then Dom, this is your part. Well, is it just Terminator?
Yeah, don't say my part. The Terminator. He came out before Terminator. Came out before Cable. Thank you very much. I don't want anybody to confuse that.
Chewie and Han 9 cover reveal. This thing should be over soon. Thank God.
I like the Dr. Aphra book. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
She looks
That's a good
sinister.
cover.
I like that.
That's a cool cover. Well, I mean, she's still got the fake.
Look at her nails.
The
nails look
Eternal.
like she has claws.
And Eternals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good art. It's cool. That droid's right.
So we know that the Ascendant line is going to stand for a while.
Yeah, which is good. I like that Ascendant line. I really do. And then this was a surprise, I guess, right? The book that nobody asked for?
We're gonna find her backstory now.
You're just bitter because it's Ireland writing a story.
Oh shit! Ireland's writing this. Oh, no wonder. No wonder. Oh, no wonder this is good. I was like, who the hell's dumbass idea was it to do this fucking story? Got it. Oh, that makes so much fucking sense. Literally the book nobody was fucking asking for, and then they put Ireland on it. This is going to be all.
Do you think they put Ireland on it, or do you think Ireland asked to be on it?
Oh, I think
this is right up Ireland's alley of characters that she would want to write about.
Yeah, oogling over Han's eyes and gleaming through all the stories, and this is going to be great. This is going to be terrible. This is going to be shitty. Wow, this is going to be shitty.
I don't know. They're going to introduce new characters.
I'm not going to give up hope on it. I knew you were, so I think it's funny. I like Staros. Like this could be a really cool comic, especially if they tie it.
You like Staros?
What?
The most. I mean, like she had one part with the Han thing showing up, and then's been like back screen vanilla for the rest of her. But we're going to get her
backstory, so maybe we get like tie-ins a little bit to the High Republic and what happened to the Staros family. Because how do you go from Chancellor of the High Republic to
because you got sold out. Right.
But you have Ireland who could bridge that. Like if there's one character
that's the one person I don't want bridging anything.
I'm trying to give the viewers something here, Marco.
Yeah, what I asked for was new books that weren't shit, and what you gave me was a steaming pile of shit. I'm not reviewing this book. So if you guys want this book reviewed, you're more than happy to do up the slides and shit. I'm not wasting my time on this piece of shit. Just not. Not for a backstory of how she met Han either. I just not.
All right, keep going.
No.
We got some interior art here. Not much.
Wow. Hey, she shoots a gun.
Yep.
This is the heist with Han. We see it already. That's what she's doing here. So she's gonna get caught, and then they're gonna be husband. Okay.
Yeah, I think if anything, that's what any viewer or comic reader. That's the only thing I can think that they would possibly want to know about with Staros was how did that whole thing with Han and the fake marriage and all that come about? I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, but do you want Ireland telling that story?
Marco, you just spent like the last hour raving about her. Give her a chance on this one, I guess.
I didn't rave about her. I gave her one speckle of
he
credit.
Said she had to have. He didn't. He said she had to have a chaperone. That's basically what he said.
Pretty much right. Anything,
okay, I take it back.
Quality.
All right, so we got some book reveals. This is the non-High Republic panel. This is a book by Kristen Baver. Kristen Baver did the Skywalker story as if the Skywalkers really existed. I didn't read that one. That wasn't on my radar. That came out this year.
Wasn't good.
And now she's just telling a story of 100 different objects that appear in the movies and giving them backstories, I guess. So she's calling this book a Museum of the Mind. So you see the next page, the slide, an example of what this book's going to be about. In the book, Yoda has this instrument to pass time on Dagobah, which we see from the movies. And so we are going to get the backstory of this instrument that Yoda played while he was waiting on Dagobah and learned how to play it. So
zero fucks
along
given.
those lines.
Zero.
Like I think that
Ireland.
What?
This in Ireland, zero fucks given.
Ruben, you might like this book. This might be up your alley.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna like it.
I think
Ruben will like this.
This is for
So
people.
these are 100 short stories.
No. It's just an object, and they make up a story about the object. It's just a bunch of word salad about an object. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There's words on a page, and it shows you an object.
Water pistol.
Huh?
Well, I mean, there were people that found it interesting how little Leia got her holster in Kenobi, right, or her blaster holster. There were people that thought that was pretty interesting, but 100 of those, I don't know.
This fucking thing, Jedi. This is the example. This fucking thing. This is the example. Yoda's Blissel.
Yoda's flask holder.
That's what we got.
So we got.
They'll
all right, we got
Jedi's
Jedi.
To anybody.
This is the book Jedi wants more than anything. He just hasn't realized it yet. we are getting a Star Wars timeline book, which is going to give us the timeline from before the High Republic all the way to the fall of the First Order.
Gonna be buying this for Jedi. Jedi, this is your Christmas.
I don't. I have JJ. I don't need this. I have JJ. What do I need?
Everything that fits together, the years, how it all comes together.
It's color coded. Jason Fry is a very boring writer. This will be great for him. This will be very dry. It's right up his alley. It's very like scientific. That's how he writes. Is very dry. So this is going to be great.
Yeah, Jason does a good job with this stuff. I'm good.
Yeah, this type of shit is what he's best at. So yeah, it'll be good. I'm actually gonna get this book.
He's a Mets fan, Dom.
Hey.
Oh, there's the inside. Look at this. See, it's cool.
Yeah, that's an example of what pages are gonna look like.
So they give you the Kylo Ren pages, and then the Poe page. Okay, cool. All right, sounds good.
Yep.
But at least they're clearing up the timeline for everybody, so it'll be good.
So you get Rennavision's original manga was announced.
2 in a row for me. Oh my god. What did I do to deserve this?
This one this is coming soon. So this one should be out before the end of the year. And so if you're a manga fan,
it does better than the first book.
Jedi's Christmas gift.
There you go.
Hopefully it does better than the first. That's all I hope.
And then the big reveal.
Where's JJ to poo-poo this and say, we
JJ
already know she's dead. Why would anybody want a backstory? Like Star Wars. That's all Star Wars does is give us backstories. Then once again, this is Andor. We ask for backstories. Then when they give us backstories, we're like, well, not backstory on that fucking character.
Oh, if Pete was here, Pete would probably say the same thing.
And what did you say, Dom? You said, I knew this was right up Marco's. Rayseeker posted this. 2 hours later, Dom posted this. And Dom goes, this is right up Marco's alley, dude. And it is. I like this shit. I like the backstories and the timelines and shit. It's up my alley. So I'm not.
Once I saw Inquisitor, I said, you know what? This is what Marco's looking for.
Yeah. So and Dawson's not bad. So I'm as a writer.
Yeah. I'm excited for this book. And it does make it seem like this could be a multi-book thing from just the preview. So I don't know if it's gonna be one book or multi-books. About Iskat, but it could be. And Dawson's done a lot of multi-book stuff before too, so it wouldn't surprise me if this is a multi-book story about Iskat. So we've seen Iskat. The next slide.
Real quickly though, I do hope they have if they have a like different. This is where I might leave. What's their names? If they have a different one for what's the name of that company? The book company that sells the socks and all the other horse shit sometimes, but they always sell.
Somebody will
hit us up in the chat with it. The book company that does like all the.
You call that a stock or something like that?
Yeah, out of stock or whatever. I will be watching that because I do not like the cover, the dust jacket on that book. I hope they change it around. Go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off.
So Iskat first comic appearance was in 19, and there you see a picture of Iskat. So this is, if you don't know who Iskat is, it's this small character. Was only in 19 and 20 of the Soul Run from Darth Vader. So we're getting that character's backstory. And as you know, JJ said, she dies.
Vader killed her, right?
No, I think I don't remember Vader kills her, or if they kill each other.
They kill each other. Yeah, the lovers.
Yeah.
Out of print.
Out of print. Thank you, Double J. Double J, will you be watching? Will you be reading that book at all? The answer is no. We already know. All right, good. We flew through the 2 parts of that. We have to get through. What do we have to get? One more.
We got one more of these.
All right, go ahead.
So we got the High Republic panel, which was one on Saturday. And so here you can kind of see
Vader make them kill each other. There we go.
Vader makes them kill. That's what I thought. Yeah. All the part of phase 2.
Pretty much all we went through a couple weeks ago.
Hey, this is where I had a question.
Go ahead.
So I'm telling on myself that I never actually read the insiders that I buy. I just like the covers. So Wayseeker's like, oh yeah, there was a High Republic mini story in that insider. So I was like, oh shit, let me read it real quick. So I did read it, and of course it's to be continued. Is it going to be continued in another insider, or is it going to be?
Yeah, it'll be in the next insider.
Okay.
Yep.
It actually seemed pretty interesting. So that character, I assume we can talk about this. The character, the Jedi in that story that was sitting in the jail cell hitching a ride basically with pirates, is that going to be the cook, we think, or what? Or is that someone else?
That's somebody else, I think.
The Blade of a Star.
That's somebody else. Did it give his name in the?
I thought it did, but maybe it didn't. I thought he gave his name.
So it's not the cook then. Okay.
No.
Never mind.
But it's somebody else who's pretty cool. Yeah.
Wait, which one? Repeat what insider you're talking about again?
in 2013. The story. Yeah, it's in 2013 or 213.
Yeah, well, this is the one I have, but that's not the cover they got. This is the cover
It's the first one there, the new boss in town.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we got some interior art for High Republic Adventures 1.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is in Maz's castle. And it looks like Savs sneaks out to party with the people in Maz's castle. We got a person on the right who everybody should recognize in this comic. Who is that person on the right?
Dax.
What?
Is it Dax? Drax? Whatever his name is.
You're saying it wrong, but yeah.
Saying it wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, Dexter, yeah.
The guy who owns that.
Yeah, it's Dex.
Dax. What is it? Dax? DEX? It's DX, right? Yeah, Dax. Okay.
Yep. So Dex is part of Maz's crew, man. Maz's inner circle in this.
That's cool. I like him. I think he's badass.
Going to be a prominent character in the series.
Cool.
We got some other prominent characters. I wish Double J was still around. But so we got two people we'd never heard of before that's part of Maz's crew. We got Alec and Alex Padawan, our disciple. Person that follows is called Quiet Shan. So
these look like Marvel characters.
Yeah. This is going to be it makes me a little bit more excited for it.
Okay.
We get a new character that I think is new character at least. We have Cormont Yizzle. Yizzle, I don't know. And then we get a character who we have seen before.
Yeah, Scissor
Punch. So Firm Scissor Punch. Where we see
Scissor Punch
Solo.
So JJ would know this. What's Therm Scissor Punch's first appearance in Star Wars?
Isn't it Solo?
No. Star Wars Commander, the video game. 2014. Take it from the video game to put in Solo, and now it's going here. So we're seeing another video game character coming up again. We're talking about doing something in the future about video game characters that we want to see in comics and other things. This one was from that.
But do we really want to see this character?
No, this isn't what I really want to see. But yeah, so this is Maz's crew. So
I want to know how she got her name. Scissor Punch.
Kind of fishy in there, isn't it?
And so we also got some interior art from High Republic 2. And these are the people from that story from the Star Wars Insider that Jedi was referring from. Kraydon and the
Twinkle sisters. Why would they name these two sisters Twinkle Sisters? That just drives me nuts. Why?
Dude, between the last two names, I'm liking it. I'm digging
it. Do you know who wrote this? Who wrote
the Twinkle Sisters?
Jedi. Who wrote Star Wars Insider 213?
I don't know. You tell me. I don't read that. I
George
don't give
Mann.
credit where credit is
due. For
Who?
fuck's sake.
George Mann. So why did he name it? All you gotta do is say George Mann.
Answer.
George Mann. That's why.
That's why. George Mann.
That's why the Twinkle Sisters.
That's why the Twinkle Sisters.
I can't decide if I love it or hate it, to be honest.
That works right. That works right into the Merlins and the dragons and the Twinkle Sisters. Story time by man. Fairy tales by man. Okay.
Twinkle Toes and Twinkle for.
And the Twinkle Sisters.
So this will be their first appearance. Will be in High Republic 2. So if you're specking hard on the Twinkle Sisters, pick up High Republic 2.
Got it. High Republic 2. Twinkle Sisters.
Yeah, they're gonna show up in the Acolyte.
Lock it up. And then Plagueis shows up, right? Okay, go ahead.
Oh my god.
You got Porter Engle looking like Dracula.
The Hellboy with his head cut off next to Dracula. They've really screwed up.
No, you actually look like High Republic 5. It looks like Nightcrawler.
Many? No, Nuck does look like Nightcrawler. That's not.
No,
Nuck.
Blade.
Nuck.
The Nuck cover is not the Blade. The Nuck cover is the thief from the High Republic.
Yeah. And then you got the Blade there.
The Blade
Soul did say that this series is about Porter and a lightsaber. It's not Porter and the Force. It's not Porter doing any of that. It's Porter and a lightsaber. So it's going to be all lightsaber action and all four books. So,
do you think he's going to change the appearance again the next time we see it? Because this is the fourth different version of Angle we have seen at this point. You do know this, right?
You kind of wonder if he's a shapeshifter, right?
Yeah, like he's got to be a shapeshifter, right? Like we saw him on the horse thing with the flowing locks of Tendrils. We saw him as an old man with nothing on the front of his head, looking like a grumpy person. Then we saw him as the hidden witch, and now he is the vampire / Hellboy. So what the fuck's going on?
What's your favorite?
I actually, maybe because I pictured it because of how they described him in the book, the Soul book, when he was on the cover riding the horse thing, is how I kind of describe it. Like a little wiry, you know, getting a little older than age, has his treadles and like, but somehow doesn't seem as formidable, but somehow it really is. The old grumpy Irishman, like that was probably the worst version of him, the one that's on the Adventures Annual. That was
this
probably
one might be as bad.
Yeah, this is runner up.
I'm just glad. I'm glad that I am not that I am no longer a I don't know, a horny teenage boy, because if I had this comic book when I was probably 12, I'm pretty sure I know what I would be doing with this cover. I'm pretty sure that he would have nipples on his forehead.
That's what Hartman just said. He said tits on his forehead. What?
Yeah.
I know you guys are weirdos. You guys are seriously, there's something wrong with you guys. You guys are weirdos. I don't understand.
I would just get bored and start drawing, and that's probably would just be the first thing I drew.
All right. Well, we're gonna stop drawing titties on books. Next up.
All right, we got the cover reveal for Claudia Gray's one-shot comic. It's gonna be 30 pages, so a little bit longer, but not long. Because this is the cover.
I know we're not to, but I say prayers for this one every single day that this is not what I think it's gonna be, which is not good.
Yeah.
God, I'll let Ireland's book be good. Lord, let Ireland's book be good if you'll let this book be good. Because I do not want this book to fail, but I have a feeling this is going to go on the Ireland heap. All right. 30-page one. The fucking front cover looks like shit too. And where the hell are they? They're on a ship, a pirate ship. God damn it. Damn it. All right, go ahead. HR cover before I...
We got some cover reveals for Cataclysm, for all the books that are coming out in the Wave 2. This is Axel Greylark, who's going to be featured prominently in whatever that Convergence, and with Gala. So here's interesting is he is going to be having Gala's lightsaber. So does that mean something happens to Gala and he has a lightsaber? I don't know, but he's got the lightsaber. He's got that blaster. We do know this book is going to feature Yaddle. So if you're a Yaddle fan, that's the book for you.
Yaddle.
Yeah.
Wait, is Cataclysm, is that another young adult or youth?
Cataclysm is the adult book of the Wave.
Really? With a cover like that, they're gonna whatever.
Yeah, man.
It just that cover just screams young adult to me. But,
Yeah.
Did you hear what?
Cover not final. Cover not final.
It's final.
And then Quest for Planet X is a story that starts on Batu, and I guess everybody is like doing a race to find this Planet X.
Isn't Planet X and Godzilla with the aliens? Monster Zero, Planet X. Come on.
Oh, that's by Groton, so it must be good. I bet it's
This
good.
is by Tessa, so maybe she'll find a way.
I bet it's good, man.
We got hopes.
I bet it's good, Marco.
We were worried about this one, but now we have some hope that maybe.
I mean, if she can make Ireland look good, I bet you this isn't going to be half that bad. So,
yeah, this is the little kid one, so you can't expect too much.
Can't expect too much.
One. Yeah.
No,
They usually don't
finish
spend
it in a week.
Yeah, this is the only book that Jedi will actually read.
Yeah, maybe.
And this is now the one I'm most excited for. This is Kevin Scott's Path of Vengeance, and Kevin says this is the sequel to Path of Deceit. So Kevin's
that
picking
explains
up.
the name then. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You got Marta there on the cover with the open hand raised, right? You got some Jedis behind, and everybody lurking in the distance are the levelers, as you can see on the side there. It's a cool cover, and
this is
it's
cool.
going to close it out. So
This is exciting.
This is one now I'm really looking forward to. Cool cover.
Let's just hope nobody
So how
drops
many
the ball.
novels in this phase?
That these are all 6. Yeah.
So
6
yeah,
novels.
well, I mean the little.
How many were in phase 1?
9.
There were 9 in phase
3
1. I was
waves.
gonna say it seemed like more in phase
1, 2, 3. We only gave 3 here, but whatever.
Yeah, these are just the second wave. We already saw the covers for the other ones.
Yeah. All right, for the higher Chronicles of the High Republic.
So the Chronicles of the High Republic is kind of giving the background of that, and so you just see some art there. You get to see
whip lightsaber.
You get to see the whip of Vernestra, right?
Yeah.
Cool art.
Yeah.
And you get to learn some more things that she's going to show about the High Council of the High Republic. We are getting an Edge of Balance, which is going to be another story about the Wookiee. I can't think of his name. That's coming out in May.
Yeah,
Be phase 2, so we'll have that one. The big announcement from Charles Soule is that he's writing a kids book with his daughter, Rosemary Soule, and this will take place before what we knew about what happened.
Nepotism.
But it's just a kids book that Soule and his daughter.
How old is his daughter?
Nepotism.
I don't know. He's in his
She's
in his
5.
mid-40s.
Okay.
He's in his mid-40s, so I don't know how old she's.
Got to give her credit, dude. Nepotism. That's how that works.
Yep. Hey, a kid's book by Soule. I'm sold. Somebody as a kid, so that's great. Excited for that one. And then there's this one is the super exciting book. This is the young adult book that was announced as coming out after phase 2 is complete. It's kind of like the bridge between phase 2 and phase 3. All 9 authors are writing a young adult short story. And this is where those short stories are taking place.
I think Jedi said they're right. This is not. No. What do you mean?
Has that ever been done before? That's why does it even work?
What do you mean?
Well, it's gonna be a hot mess.
You've got.
It's gonna be awesome.
How many is it?
What? It's just gonna be like the anthology.
Like 10 authors there, right?
What?
Oh, so it's short stories.
They're short stories. Yeah.
Okay, they're not
It's gonna be like
collaborating
from a
on the
certain
same
point of
story.
view.
They're not collaborating. Each one's taking place at a different period.
Okay.
So like
Here's the problem.
Okay,
It's gonna be like here's gonna be the problem. At a certain point of view, let's be real. There's some real good stuff in there. There's some real horse shit in there. There's not a lot of stories here. So half of this is probably going to be okay. The other half is going to be horseshit.
I mean, we'll find out. But these are all the writers, the main writers. And they're taking place in some really interesting times. Like Claudia Gray's is taking place one day after phase 1. So we might find out what happened to Buryaga right there. Maybe. I don't know. We could. Right? Wouldn't be surprising. The last 2, Kevin Scott, so very near phase 3. Charles Soule, close to phase 3. Ireland.
Yeah, you picked out the 3 best authors out of the group.
But that's enough to be excited about it. You don't have to.
Yeah, that is. You picked out the 3 best and they put them in the right spot. Yes, okay.
Yeah, all the stories don't have to be good.
But then you got to see older, and I like older stuff in comics, but like his writing is not good. Okay,
that's fine. Like, not all the stories have to be good.
Man,
the book.
Come on, man. Twinkle Sisters, man. Okay, Kang, Ireland. Tessa. Okay,
you don't want to read the Ireland one. You don't want to read that to find out if Vernestra ever lost her virginity, and you don't want to read
that story. It's going to be a 20-page story, and 10 pages is going to be somebody gazing. The grass. I think I'm in love with the grass. No, I think I'm in love with the wind. I think I'm in love with that fart over there. That's what that story is going to be.
And I can almost guarantee you that the Tessa Grattan story is going to be about the Rose. Like what happened to the
Tessa Grattan story.
phase 2.
She's strong, man.
So that's going to be an awesome story too.
She's getting up there. She is getting up into the top 5. I mean,
there's not all the stories have to be good, but there's going to be some stories to be super excited they're going to be important. Yeah, Tales from the High Republic. I'm excited for this book, and it bridges the gap between what's going to happen in phase 2 and phase 3. So there's something content. We were just lacking content. Now we have content.
A big break. That's a good idea. I mean, I like it for. I do like you, but you went like birthday gift. Daddy bought me a pony and bought me like the jump house and everything else. I'm going like, all right. Well, they gave me a G.I. Joe. It's not the one I wanted, but at least it's still in package and new. That's what I'm saying here. Like, cool, it's a G.I. Joe. You know what I mean? That's what I got for it. So,
yeah, well, I'm excited.
Okay, good.
You can get the wrong G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Then we got some other books, which I'm not excited for. I guess there was one of these already. There was a lightsaber collection book. So now we're having the High Republic lightsaber collection reference book. So if you like the other one, you're going to like this one. If you didn't even know the other one existed, you probably don't need to know this one existed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't see any confirmation on it, but this was
over 20
all over
people.
Twitter and all over Reddit. The people that were there said that they announced that it is going to begin. There's not much gap between phase 2 and phase 3. It will start
interesting.
A year from now, pretty much.
That's interesting. I thought the time would have been longer than that. That's very interesting.
Yep. And so I put it as a rumor because I haven't seen any confirmation, but it was tweeted and put on Reddit by lots of people who were there. So there's rumors. It's a good,
Until it gets pushed
realistic
back.
reason to believe it is true.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't get pushed back. Thank you for everybody that's still sticking around, by the way. I thought we would have been like 5 people, but we have not. We've been steady. So thank you for everybody for showing up. Thanks for being around. Ruben, thanks for having you. Are you coming back next week? You still have next week off, right?
I actually have the next 2 weekends off, and then I'm gonna go back to my regular. So I may or may not, but
So we were supposed to be
I'll-
doing some rankings of like this, I think, but we haven't got to it yet. So we'll get to that. Unless you guys want us to go into hour number 4 of the marathon. That was Jedi. Did you see how you came back and you're like, hey, as long as I'm out in time for dinner and dinner has passed and we've kept you on the whole time? That was our plan.
Tomorrow's a
Welcome to the
holiday
dark side.
too, so I'm not really concerned.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's a holiday?
Tomorrow's a holiday.
What's the holiday? Is it?
Depending on what you want to call it, Columbus Day, Indigenous
Columbus Day,
Day,
Indigenous Day.
Oh, so you guys get the day off for that? That's nice.
government.
good.
It's a government holiday. Yeah.
Yeah. No mail tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be flying out tomorrow.
Must be nice. All right, cool.
So
Sounds
can I
good.
take advantage of that segue real quick? Since Dom is
ahead.
not going to be here,
You.
I don't know if Dom's going to be able to join me in our episode 11 of Mail Call Madness, where we tell who won the giveaways. If not, I may try to get a special guest, or you may just get me talking to myself on the camera. But either way, there will be an episode 11, and we will
get you a special guest. You will have a special guest on your show.
I'm going to try to do a video tonight before I go to sleep. I have a lot to do before I still got to put my clothes away. I got to pack. So I'm going to try to.
If you haven't entered in the giveaway, there's some pretty cool prizes that we are giving away. Check out episode 10 to find out what they are. You have about 24 hours left to place your guess, and you never know.
And they're taking it super serious because I asked, not knowing that it was so serious. I asked the answer to the question, I guess, and I got the death stare from hell and told, "No way, buddy, no way." And I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, well, these guys are entered in too." And I was like,
This is like the winners of the Oscars.
This is the wild, wild west. You let just anybody, any heathen can enter this thing. But okay, I mean, it is what it is. So there you go. Your rules, your way. Make sure you're checking them out. Make sure if you didn't catch up, I actually did go back. I did. Oh God, I almost called it MCM. Check out MCM on Friday. I did go back to do S&S last night. Spent a little time with the boys there. And wow, that was something. It was something. So never to be missed when you get us all back together. Also, to make sure that you're checking out the tax show. We're going to have Dub on. We're going to be talking about a different con on that one. I think we're going to talk about our experiences there. We're also having a guest because we're doing horror movies. We're having a guest on that one from a different show. We have a lot of shows going back and forth. So make sure you're checking out all the fine content here. Pete will be back. He was drinking a little bit too much. They needed a ring bearer at a wedding, and he decided to somehow there's pictures of him like upside down on a chandelier. I don't know if he was thrown up there or if they really hung him up there. And speaking of that,
we don't even know if he's actually come down. He might still be up there.
He might still be up there. Yeah. Rennavision will be hitting the road by at least 2 of us. If you didn't notice the ticket that I posted on the thing, me and Pete will be representing at Baltimore. Pete will be there for a couple of days. I will be there for all the days. All the days we're talking Thursday included in it. And then I'll be at Detroit Motor City Comic-Con. But we'll get more to that in TAC. So anybody else have anything else? Ruben, you anything to plug? Make sure you're following these guys. Ruben, Dom, Old Man Tober, Jedi Johnson, and Wayseeker. Do you have I don't even do shit on Instagram. Do you have an Instagram?
I do. Just
Very
Wayseeker. Yep.
Good stuff. Find him out too. All right. Anybody else?
We're good.
Oh yeah, one last thing about the con that I forgot to mention. There was another tragedy. So apparently, the third day I was there at 10 o'clock in the morning. One of the fans passed away because he either died of a heart attack. He was like in his mid-40s.
Oh, Jesus.
And they were trying to revive him on the tables. So the con was kind of interesting this year.
Holy shit! On the comic book tables?
Well, one of the tables, yeah. It was like just before the thing opened up. When it opened up, apparently he was a heavy set guy, individual, and hey, look,
good for whoever the vendor was that cleared that table for him.
I look at it this way, that's the same, but if you got to go, you're going to the con that you love, and and stuff like that.
I agree
No.
with that.
You know,
I don't
that
know if I
happens-
agree with that. No.
No, if
No,
that happens,
stop.
roll me out into the fucking street and let a car run over me.
no,
Do not let me go out at a con. Please don't let me go out at a con.
No.
you know,
Well, damn it. Well, it's such a somber mood now. I hate to ask this question, but I did have one other question for Dom about the con. I want to know how the Harley Quinn sandwich tasted and why you didn't save it for Marco.
I'm not eating. You know why?
well, listen, it's kind of funny because when we went past the, there was like a little Harley Quinn, like a donut stand that was outside. So we went by there and we gave out comic books. So they gave the comic book, and it went by. I was looking in there and I said, "Oh, that was pretty cool." And the guy goes, "You want a free sandwich?" My brother goes, "Sure."
Yeah.
So we took one, and it was pretty cool because it had the symbol 30th anniversary, Harley Quinn 30th birthday.
And what kind of sandwich was it, Dom? Let's just.
It was an egg, a scrambled egg and cheese sandwich.
Oh, nice.
With a side of boogers.
Well,
They
and
went all out.
of course, my brother had me go to friggin' Starbucks to try to find hot sauce. Couldn't find hot sauce. Pain in the ass.
Well, at least you tried.
All right. Thanks for answering that. That's been bugging me the entire
No, but
time.
all kidding aside, like that story, they told. Well, a friend of ours said that happened in the beginning. We were there, but we didn't know. We were up in the press room, but that's how he described everything.
Well, let's not go back to that. Let's go back to how you don't ever send me food, especially food that like scrambled it. No, that's been sitting in a truck outside of. First off,
Free breakfast.
No.
Marco can pay for his own breakfast. He's got lots
Yeah.
of money just laying around.
I'd rather eat the hot dogs that they leave in the water on the side streets that smell like
The dirty
trash
water hot
in New
dogs.
York City.
Dirty
Then
water
eat-
hot dogs.
Yeah, the water hot dogs. Then eat an egg salad coming out of a Harley Quinn thing where the guy's like, "Yo, you want a free sandwich?"
Well, the fact
No,
is that we didn't
I
know,
don't.
we
I
didn't know
really
what to
don't.
expect.
What was that?
We didn't know what to expect. It could have been late.
Yeah, no,
Arsenic.
no
Who
shit.
knows?
no,
Harley Quinn is
no.
very crazy.
Did you? So when you had diarrhea, you didn't realize what that came from. It was that sandwich. You do know that, right? The diarrhea you got was from that sandwich, bro.
It did
wasn't
taste
from anything
terrible,
else.
so I don't know, man.
I'm such a bad person. I don't even want to say what I'm thinking.
Go on. We're going on 2
ahead.
hours.
No, because it's in terrible taste.
No,
Yeah,
go ahead.
poor
Say it
guy.
now.
That poor guy that had the heart attack might have ate.
Oh,
That's messed up.
man.
I
That's
told you it
messed
was terrible.
That
You
was
guys made me say it.
It was
yeah,
funny,
crapshoot,
though. It was
man.
terrible.
There's no shot I would be eating that. No
Well, you know,
shot.
but like I said, it was fun. It was great to see the crowd back.
Oh my god.
That was amazing. There was a dude if you saw one of the videos, guy made a homemade speeder bike, and he was Mando
Yeah, I
with
saw
the
that.
child.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That was really cool, man.
That was really cool. That was really cool. Yeah, thanks for all the updates that you put out there. I hope you were following them. Thanks for everything you did out there. It was really cool to see some of the inside stuff. Thank you for your stories. They were really good, Dom.
Yeah.
Appreciate everything you did out there. Yeah,
Short of Harley.
that is my nightmare. Like that is I've told my friends in the industry, if it happens, you drag me out and throw me in a bar or you throw me someplace, but you do not let me die in the fucking con. All right, guys.
Action Comics number 1.
What'd you say?
Action Comics number 1.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for the oh my god, Ruben. That's the great way to end this. Oh shoot, I'm supposed to do the out thing. Sorry, guys. This is why Pete never gets it right. All right, outro it is.